Hello, sports fans, and welcome to Slaughterhouse Wrestling 9. We are here with the 9th show, Nonstop Nut November. Go ice your balls. We are broadcasting to you live from Memphis, Tennessee at the Mythical Farms Livestock Coliseum here in front of 10,000 screaming slaughter maniacs. I am your host, Ron Jovi, your commentator here every week here with Wallop Jennings. Wallop, how you doing, buddy?
Honestly, Ron, I could not be more excited not only to be in front of these amazing Memphis fans here tonight, about 10,000 strong turned out to watch some amazing Slaughterhouse action tonight.
Could not agree with you there more, Wallop. Could not agree with you more. We have a stacked show. 10 matches for you, a title match in the main event. Tensions running high through all of these matches, though. And we are going to kick it off first with Lavernius Bimson of the Exotic Husbands versus Orville Neal, the Demented One. Here, there, and everywhere a little bit. Not a regular in Slaughterhouse, but coming back to make a statement against Bimson, someone who a lot of us have really enjoyed watching here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. Wallop, what do you make of this one?
Well, honestly, you kind of said it all. Like, Orville Neal was a guy that, only a few pay-per-views ago, not even weeks ago, was considered a top contender here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. But ever since then, he's kind of fallen off the deep end, suffered a good few losses. Lavernia is a guy who's shown endless talent in the ring, but has yet to string together a couple of really important wins. Both of these guys really want to come out of here starting this pay-per-view with a win underneath their win-loss column, and both of them really could not need it anymore.
Definitely agree with you there, Wallop. Last time we saw Lavernius Bimson, he was in action against Don't Go Jason Waterfalls in a match between two technically minded wrestlers. Jason increasing his win streak, not able to win too much in the past, finally getting it together, increasing that streak by 1 point against Lavernius Bimson pretty quickly. Orville Neal, like you just said, needs this win here, and a win against someone like Lavernius Bimson would really cement him back on the map. Speaking of Don't Go Jason Waterfalls, our second contest tonight, we are going to see that man try to defend his win streak against a Slaughterhouse original, Damon Sky. Wallop, these two men wrestled once before early on in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. It did not go Jason Waterfall's way, but I believe that he thinks that he will be able to take down Damon Sky after Damon suffered that loss to Chicago Cowboy in the cage match.
Yeah, both of these guys, really interesting careers so far here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. Don't Go Jason Waterfalls kind of started out, as hype as I think any wrestler here in Slaughterhouse. Fantastic on the mic, great backstage presence, kind of rubbed a number of people the wrong way, but could not string together a couple of wins. And ever since then, he's kind of turned things around, going 2-0 in his last two matches. In singles competition, too, need I say that. And Damon Sky, on the other hand, started off about as high up on that mountain as you could, still being underneath Walnut, but has kind of been on a downslope ever since the cage match with Chicago Cowboy, and he really, really, really needs to get things turned around here if he wants to stay relevant in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, while Jason Waterfalls is kind of making his way to the top.
Of course, Wallop. And I think you hit on something there when we were talking about Jason Waterfall's singles career. I think tonight will be a really pivotal night for the Bankrollers. We have seen them go from absolutely nothing to getting into the finals of the Slaughterhouse Hardcore Championship Tournament. We saw Chicago Cowboy come back and conquer Damon Sky in the cage, and then beat Dong Michaels almost in less than 10 minutes, I believe. Made very quick work of him. Big Money Marty accumulating some singles wins, but none of them able to string together any tag wins. This may just end up that this team is a team that has to wrestle in singles, but we will see going forward what happens here. Speaking of seeing what's going on here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, we're going to see a debut. The newest member of Behold a Dark Horse. Behold a Dark Horse taking on so many new members lately, Wallop. Apocalypse will be making his debut against a Slaughterhouse stalwart, Lucifer Valeska.
Yeah, honestly, not too sure what to expect from this match. Both of these guys sound like they could be, straight out of hell. Obviously, Lucifer, well known for his antics early on in Slaughterhouse when it came to stealing opponents' souls. Hasn't really been seen since, Slaughterhouse 5, where he lost to Dawn. That was his last match here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, so we haven't seen him for a while. We saw him take down Frank, the Trashman Reynolds, in the first round of the Hardcore tournament. Not something I think anybody expected, but then just kind of disappeared after that. So obviously he's got some things to prove to everyone, the fans out here, the guys in the back room, that he still has what it takes to be a successful wrestler here in Slaughterhouse. But on the other hand, Apocalypse, one of our new guys we have wrestling tonight, it technically could consider it a fresh meat match. Has a lot to show, and he obviously is joining a faction that's pretty well known here in Slaughterhouse, and they want to see him start out with the W.
Of course, Behold a Dark Horse, our new tag team champions, Black Snow and STO, conquering Zeus and Mark Mello of Supreme very, very recently. Hopefully we will see them at Slaughterhouse 10 defending those titles. But here, you are right. They want to see their newest member get a W. And Lucifer Valeska, not an easy task. He has had a lot of good wins here in Slaughterhouse. He's had a lot of hard-fought matches here in Slaughterhouse. And he may have taken off time, gone to that vacation home in the deep, dark depths of hell to really pull himself together and try to figure out what he needs to do to get on the board. And speaking of strong debuts, Wallop, we have a whopper of a match here. Jabroni, the charismatic one from Birds of War, taking on Bruce Dwayne. So far, an unaffiliated person here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. But Bruce Dwayne got a big mouth on him, calling out Jabroni in his first day in the company. The ink was not even dry on the contract, Wallop, and he called out someone who has had an extremely successful singles run here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling.
Yeah, very interesting start to his career. I mean, obviously, from what we've heard from Janet, who has been doing a lot of, tests and stuff, she tests every new wrestler that tries to join Slaughterhouse. Obviously, for the new listeners, Janet is your mom's friend who is a nurse who has been contracted by Slaughterhouse Wrestling. She is our only medical official. Kind of looked over Bruce Dwayne a good bit prior to him joining Slaughterhouse Wrestling and advised Commissioner Earl Dipshit not to sign him, of course, which he then proceeded to do and offer him one of the most lucrative contracts we've seen here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. This guy has something wrong with him, not too sure what, but Janet did, she's a lady of few words, and she was even fewer when this came up. So I'm not too sure what to expect from him. Obviously, he must have something wrong with him to challenge Jabroni, a guy who not long ago was fighting for the Slaughterhouse Championship against Walnut, a guy who is well known, obviously more for a tag team lately over the last few pay-per-views, having 2 straight tag wins with his Birds of War faction. The last time he actually fought was his loss in the 4-way number 1 contenders match. So interesting first start for this guy. We'll see what he can do in the ring. I've heard tales of what he can do, but from what Janet said, I don't think there's nothing I can expect. I'm not too sure what to expect is going to happen in the ring.
I really have no idea either, Wallop. But it is interesting that you brought up Jabroni's career here. Just to remind the fans at home, Jabroni, a series of wins landed him that title match against Walnut, where he came up short, but went the longest with Walnut that anyone had been before. Arguably the most successful singles contest that had happened in that title run. Jabroni then was placed in the 4-way eliminator match to determine the new number 1 contender. To my knowledge, if I remember right, he was eliminated last, only falling to Vint, who then went on to beat Walnut's only singles loss here. Then Jabroni went on to get 2 tag wins in a row. Jabroni, by all means, is one of the most winningest wrestlers we have here. One of the most, if you just look at the numbers, objectively best wrestlers we have here. And you are right that there must be something wrong with Bruce Dwayne to want to call that out on his first day. God bless him. See what happens in the match. But speaking of call-outs, this is one I think we all saw coming, Wallop. Nightmare versus Jacked Punk. Nightmare, the third member of Behold a Dark Horse, now a stable of 6 people, still stinging over those losses to Supreme. Behold a Dark Horse is finally able to conquer Supreme and win those tag titles, but Nightmare still feels like he has something to prove, and he called out Jack Punk directly. He said he wanted him in the ring to prove that he still is not that weak link of Behold a Dark Horse.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of an interesting matchup. Both these guys, part of very, very winning factions here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. So they both, I feel like, until they kind of get their footing and figure out, who they are and who they're going to be here, they want to string together some impressive wins. And I think both of these guys see the other faction, and it's kind of like these generals playing, wars with their kids, like out on the playground or something. Not to say these guys are small by any means, but there's much bigger things going on behind them, and I think both of these guys don't want to be forgotten in the meantime. Both of these guys, Jack Punk put on an amazing match last week at Slaughterhouse 8, both of them coming off wins, mind you. So both of them obviously swinging up the rankings as singles competitors. So I'm very interested to see how this one turns out. I think Nightmare might have the edge, having more experience here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, but Jack Punk kind of has come in on a tear since he started.
Definitely, and you have to think a match like this, like you just said, has ranking implications. Both men coming off a win, going to get another win. Things are wide open with Vince as champion now, and we will see after this match how these rankings shake out. God, speaking of big matches, Wallop, I can already hear the smile on your face right now as we're about to talk about this. Frank, the Trash Man Reynolds, versus Walnut in a landmine death match. A sentence I never thought I'd have to say in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, but a sentence I kind of always hoped I'd say in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. I cannot believe Walnut, after losing the title, calling people out left and right, calling out Big Money Marty at the last event and beating him, and now calling out Frank directly, calling him a troll, calling him a little troll man that he has to put away in order to move back up the rankings. Wallop, we've seen every Frank match, we've seen every Walnut match here. 2 people that might not even be people, they might not even be human. I don't know, and I sure as hell don't know if either of these men is going to walk away from this match intact.
Yeah, this one is kind of an interesting one. I feel like we're going to end up, probably in the luxury boxes by the before this match begins. There's going to be a lot going on down in the ring. Frank, obviously, a guy that started off on a tear with those matches with Noble, putting on some fantastic, odd matches, terrific wins over Thomas Noble, who's currently sitting our number 1 contender for the title right now. Just a few months ago, not that long ago, but Frank Reynolds, ever since then, losing in the first round of the Hardcore title tournament, really needs something to start turning his way. And I think just, forget the rankings, forget win-losses. This is just an interesting as hell match. These 2 guys, both insane humans. I know we address that every now and then, but, we say Walnut, he might be more legume than man, but I'm not too sure about either of them, and add in landmines to that, I'm not too sure what to expect from this match, but I gotta say, the fans here tonight, they don't know what the hell they're gonna see either.
Oh yeah, no idea. I have no idea what they're gonna see, I have no idea what we're gonna see. I've noticed that you have brought your finest poncho to this, Wallop. I'm a little jealous. You can make sure your suit does not get any blood on it, and I'm hoping that the fans in the front row will know to move back a little bit as that match starts. But hey, speaking of grudge matches, Wallop, Thomas Noble of Behold a Dark Horse, one of the newer members, versus Big Daddy D of Gay Space Cowboys, taking on each other one-on-one action after weeks of trash talk. Big Daddy D getting under the skin of Thomas Noble, making fun of his athletic accolades, calling him Mrs. Noble, telling him that he is going to absolutely demolish him in the ring. And Wallop, I don't know if Big Daddy knows what he's getting into here. Big Daddy's a great wrestler, but a fired-up Thomas Noble is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, not a very smart move by the Big Daddy himself. Someone who, looking back at the tape, has not won a match in Slaughterhouse Wrestling since Slaughterhouse 3. It has been that long that him and Forged in Fire, obviously a very famous tag team duo here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, have not come away with the win since then. Now, Thomas Noble, on the other hand, has been doing nothing but climbing that ladder here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. The guy that we saw early on had just endless potential to achieve stardom here. Obviously, this guy, how many Heismans?
The 4, Wallop.
How many national championships?
Only 3, Wallop.
Only 3. So this guy, every single time he's out there, he's got something to prove here to the fans, to the people in the back, and to Earl Dipshit himself. He wants to prove himself to everyone, and I think a big win over someone like Big Daddy D is going to do that for him and might even put him in position to be challenging for the title as soon as Slaughterhouse 10. I truly believe that he has the talent and the acumen to do that. But Big Daddy D is not going to like hearing this. He's going to do everything he can to stop that from happening.
Wallop, every time we talk about Thomas Noble, every time we do this, you ask me about the Heismans, you ask me about the championships, but I gotta ask you one question. How many UFC middleweight championships does Thomas Noble hold?
Is it 3?
3, Wallop! It is 3. Thomas Noble is one of the most fantastic pound-for-pound fighters we have here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, and that is why I am worried about Big Daddy D. Normally a tag guy, haven't seen him in much singles competition, but tonight one of them will come out the winner, and one of them will move up those rankings or be in a position to challenge Vitt or Chicago Cowboy. We'll get to that in a second. You're absolutely right. But hey, after that, I think the match that most Slaughterhouse fans have been waiting for so long, a rematch from Slaughterhouse 8, a match that none of us really thought was going to get a rematch until some trash talking occurred, some promos were cut. We're going to see Malachi Hades, Maliki Hades take on the Badman of Behold a Dark Horse. Maliki beating Badman clean, 1, 2, 3 in the ring. Badman, though, coming back and demanding this rematch after days and days of taunting Maliki, taunting him, telling him to go ice his balls after the absolute testicular wreckage that Badman caused Hades. We didn't think this match was going to deserve a rematch. Hades won clean in the ring, but goddamn it, Earl Dipshit wants to see it, and I think all of the Slaughterhouse fans want to see it, Wallop.
I think we have to. I think at this point we have to. I don't think even, Badman could take out Malachi in 1 minute, and both of these guys would still be going after each other about who's the better wrestler. This is going to be nonstop for the rest of time until time stops itself. Millions of years from now, these guys are going to be going at it, and I love it. I love every second of it. I will say, Ron, you're kind of asking for a beating, though, if you keep calling him Maliki. You know Malachi's not going to take too kindly to that when he listens to this later, or if he is listening to it right now back there in the back. He's not going to be a big fan of that, and you might be the one icing your balls after that.
Look. That's what Earl Dipshit calls him. It's stuck in my brain. I spend too much time out at the bars with Earl where he just gets drunk and calls him Maliki and just complains about the way these two men have been treating each other. But you are right that the way this is going, the sun will burn out. We will have an asteroid colliding into the Earth, and Hades and Badman will still be screaming at each other, calling each other trash-ass bitches, saying go ice your balls, saying let's make the match official after it's already been booked for a show. They will still be screaming at each other. And there's still there's a small part of me that thinks maybe, Wallop, just maybe, this match will actually put an end to all of this trash talk. One man will come out of this objectively the better barbed wire wrestler, if you can believe that. And you know what? I've seen the Vegas betting odds on this one. It is a clean 50-50. No one knows where it's going to end up. But odds are that someone will walk out of this one testicle down.
Ron, I think the scariest thing about that match, potentially, ignore the barbed wire. I think one of them picking up the mic is going to be the scariest thing about that match.
Yeah, no, that's more what I'm worried about. Earl booked this match and then said Happy Halloween to me because he knew it was going to be scary. But he did that like yesterday. It's November, Earl. It's not Halloween anymore, man. I know this is like a scary match where we're all gonna see a lot of blood, but it's November. It's not Halloween anymore. Sorry, man. But speaking of hardcore matches, Dank Dong, a team that has been around in Slaughterhouse Wrestling since the beginning, both men going their separate ways after the German brawl down, intertwining their careers as part of the Athletic Husbands. Both of them called out by Big Money Marty, teaming up with the loser of last week's hardcore title match, Ricky Big Bucks Biloxi. Both of these men walking into Slaughterhouse's first ever hardcore tag team match. Wallop, what do you make of this challenge? This seemed like an odd challenge to me. What do you think's going on here?
Well, for one, I do want to have a little correction for you. From everything Ricky Big Bucks has been telling us backstage, just in pre-show interviews, the man says he's not a loser. He's been talking nonstop all week about being the original hardcore champion. So I think in some part of his mind, he thinks because he technically got the win at the first one, he's still the original champion. Not too sure what's going on there. So in his mind, he's definitely not the loser. So I would have to guess him and Marty kind of work together on this one. Hey, let's go out there and I can show off, Ricky can show off his new belt and tell everyone, hey, I'm still here. I'm still the hardcore champion. Even if he's not recognized by Slaughterhouse Wrestling, not too sure what's going on there. Dank and Dong, on the other hand, I'd love to see them back together. Glad to see them in the ring, going, at all these tag teams once again. But at a hardcore match, I think Marty and Ricky are going to have the advantage on this one.
Wallop, I hate to harp on something that you just said, but I believe you mentioned Ricky holding a belt? Is the original hardcore championship a physical object?
From what I have been told, he started talking a lot about having, some kind of original hardcore belt. I haven't seen anything yet, but I did see him going back into the locker room with a glue stick, and it looks like some art supplies from Dollar Tree. I'm not too sure what all this is going to entail tonight. I'm not sure with all the money that the bankrollers apparently have why they're shopping at Dollar Tree. Not too sure about this one as a whole, Ron, but we're going to see something interesting when they finally duke it out to the ring, is all that I can guess.
Definitely. And either way, belt or no belt, challenge or no challenge, I am just excited to see the Bankrollers take on the Husbands in Slaughterhouse Wrestling's first ever hardcore tag match. Definitely could be one for the books, Wallop. And hey, speaking of the Bankrollers, our main event, Chicago Cowboy, the muscle of the Bankrollers, will be taking on Slaughterhouse's most dominant wrestler ever, Victor Hill, our champion. The title is on the line, folks. And we were able to catch up with Chicago Cowboy earlier today, and we wanted to get his take on the main event tonight. So we're going to play that for you now.
Vint, I've said it once, and I'll say it again. I've got nothing but respect for you.
It looks like we got some technical
Who wouldn't respect
difficulties
somebody
getting
who
that
backs everything
to
they
you
say?
real quick. So, we could talk about the match
You've proven
for a second.
time and
I know
time
the
again
Cowboy
you're the
and
best
Victor
of
Hill
the
both
best
obviously have
in
some
singles
heat
competition.
going at each other. It's
But you've
nonstop
never beaten me,
for these
have
two
you?
guys.
In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm the only person who has beaten you, aren't I? In what was an amazing match in Slaughterhouse Wrestling's first tournament. It was the Chicago Cowboy who stood tall and had his arm raised at the end of the match. Vint laid on the ground. But then again, you did accomplish something even I failed to do. You beat the Nut. You defeated Walnut, the Enigma, and received the one thing that has eluded me in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. You became the world champion. So let's settle this. A good old-fashioned revenge story. You get your chance to redeem yourself against the Chicago Cowboy. And the Cowboy gets another chance to bring that glorious title back home to where it belongs. The Bankroller's possession. The Cowboy is ready, Vint. Are you?
Strong words from the Chicago Cowboy. Sorry, folks. had a little bit of technical difficulties on our end there, not yours, but hopefully you're able to get the gist of that promo. Vince offered this title shot to the Chicago Cowboy, curiously enough. The Chicago Cowboy not ranked number 1, but Vince's sole singles loss in Slaughterhouse Wrestling took place in that first tournament that Walnut won. Chicago Cowboy beat Vint to move on to the finals, and Vint has not forgotten it. He needs to conquer the Cowboy in order to cement his legacy here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. But the Chicago Cowboy is not going to let him forget it.
Yeah, honestly, I think once you're a guy like Victor Hill, you've achieved, you're at the very top of the mountain here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, but you cannot forget those losses, those past losses. The only person he's lost here to is the Chicago Cowboy. Once he gets it out of the way, he can start claiming to be the greatest of all time. He is the strongest wrestler we have in Slaughterhouse, the best wrestler we have in Slaughterhouse. So I cannot wait to see how this plays out. Chicago Cowboy, on the other hand, has been putting on some pretty damn impressive matches over the last few weeks, and I really, really expect great things out of this match tonight.
Same here, Wallop. I think this is going to be one for the books. But folks, that is our card for tonight. We are ready to kick things off here at Slaughterhouse 9, Nonstop Nut November, Go Ice Your Balls. And we're going to kick it off to Lavernius Bimson versus the demented one, Orville Neal.
Now, Ron, I know over the past few pay-per-views, we've been talking about, the referee issue we've been having here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. Some obviously missed calls in the past, and we've been kind of moving back and forth. Do you have any idea who's refereeing all these, the early matches? I know that Earl Dipshit himself likes to officiate for the hardcore matches and the title matches, as we've seen recently, but do you have any idea who's refereeing out there? I know it's his first night getting started.
Give me 1 second to find that information for you, Wallop. Before we came out here, Earl Dipshit handed me approximately a novel's worth of pages. Most of them is just sheer nonsense. Happy Halloween's written on a couple of them in big 72-point font. But give me 1 second and let me see if I can flip through this to find who will be refereeing these matches.
Dipshit is just a big fan of Halloween. I don't really know what's really going on with him and Halloween, but he is just a big fan of the holiday.
Yeah, I think he celebrates Halloween all year long. I mean, you just look at the man; he's kind of always wearing a costume.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the same for Orville Neal, who's catching a fright himself. He's going to start to turn things around against Bimson. Looks like, but Bimson started off strong in this match so far.
Wallop, I just found out the referee's name. His name, he is an independent wrestler of some renown, a classic wrestler. Choosing to wrestle on the indies after losing a contract to one of the major promotions, trying to help out the younger generation, and now he is here, back on pay-per-view in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. Folks, that is Jim Shorts in the ring. Jim Shorts.
Oh, I've seen some of his stuff too. It is bad quality, I will say, and not his wrestling, the videos. I'm not too sure who's recording them. It's mostly been 240p stuff I've seen on YouTube. But, it's nice to see him here with my own eyes and, high definition.
Yes, definitely agree. I'm a big fan of Jim Shorts' work. Just as I'm a big fan of the work of both men in the ring right now, jockeying for position. We've seen Bimson try to use some of those amateur wrestling takedowns on Neal, but Neal responding in turn. A little surprising that they're grappling at fairly equal levels, Wallop.
Yeah, it's been kind of a back-and-forth match so far. Both of these guys really just trying to feel each other out in the early goings. Orville Neal obviously more of a, for lack of a better word, monster in the ring, just uses that dominating strength. But Bimson is no pushover. That amateur wrestling background, he loves showing it off.
Definitely agree, but there is that brawling style of Orville Neal coming into play, and with the big slam there, just using his weight to his advantage as much as he can. And we know, not to smack talk Bimson's abilities, but if this match spills out of the ring, that is Orville's playground. And Bimson just has to make sure that does not happen.
Yeah, I will say that's one of the strengths that we've seen from the Fiend so far here in Slaughterhouse is he loves having action flow over into the outside of the ring, right in front of us, a lot of it. I don't know if he's trying to threaten us obscurely, trying to show us like, hey, I can do this to you too if I, had the opportunity, but hopefully that's not what it is.
I truly hope so. High angle bridging German suplex there, Northern Lights suplex actually. Big move there from Bimson, does not get the pin though, and Orville Neal taking it back on the chin. Now Orville taking over, getting grounding Bimson taking over and getting that ankle lock, 1 foot under the rope though, sadly. And Bimson still trying to hit that Olympic slam, maybe seeing that as one of his keys to victory here. Covering Orville, only a 2 count. Both men on their feet. Now Bimson trying to brawl a little bit with Orville, but Orville responding with an Uranagi. These 2 men are just absolutely jockeying for position here, Wallop. I can barely even call this action.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see which way it's going. I mean, both of these guys just consistently going back and forth with it, and we've seen that from a lot of Bimson's matches so far here in Slaughterhouse. He seems to always kind of, be in control, like he's someone who can, he can take control of a match pretty quickly, but he's had so much trouble closing them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time Orville gets into the ring, cover by Orville Neal, backslide. Almost a 3 count off the backslide. Was not expecting that sort of amateur wrestling move to get Bimson.
Yeah, especially something that he is very, very familiar with. I mean, that is a move that we've seen him use before, and to have it used against him, Orville Neal obviously playing the mind games like he is so wont to do.
And yes, I was just about to hit on those mind games. Every time we see Orville Neal in the ring throughout the action of his matches, he is a force of nature, Wallop. Roll up by Bimson. Slow count there from Jim Schwartz.
I was just going to say that.
Maybe showing a little bit of favoritism. But no, Orville is terrifying in the ring. Just the physical dominance, the presence, the mind games, all of that together makes him such a dominating presence. But you're right that he is not able to capitalize on it 100% of the time like you think he might be able to. But right now, I don't know. I mean, I'm saying this as Bimson is taking over in this match. But so far, he has shown a lot of aptitude that I'm not sure we've seen from him before.
Yeah, it is really nice to see him going this long into the match. What's really going to be the difference maker is can he close this out? That has been his biggest issue. Honestly, since he joined Slaughterhouse, just close this match out. Get the win.
To do that, ironically enough, I think he might have to get Bimson out of the ring. German suplex there with the bridge. Almost a 3 count. Bimson is just throwing Orville around now, though, Wallop. He is going to have to get him out of the ring, break this chain. Moves like that, small moves like that right there, are going to break this sort of wrestling up and give him a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, that's exactly what he needs right now. As Orville will go for the pin again on him.
The Senton doing a shocking amount of damage to Bimson there. Almost getting the 3 count. Bimson coming in with the running clothesline. And these 2 men are just slugging it out, Wallop.
Drop kick by Bimson, You just love seeing a good, well-executed drop kick. And, I mean, that's what you got to say about Bimson. He just has some of the prettiest moves. He really,
Ow, the gut wrench suplex right on the corner almost.
And that's what he will do. He will just inflict pain upon him any way he can. I mean, Bimson, obviously, he's out there for the win. Orville Neal is out there to inflict bodily harm on his opponent.
Yeah, both of these men are originally not on the card when it was announced, Wallop. Earl noticed that both of them did not have a match and wanted to pair up that sort of stylistic difference like you're talking about. Oh my god. A Sister Abigail there from Orville Neal. Will he be able to get the cover? We know he loves to end matches with that move when he can, but it looks like Bimson with the flying clothesline tackle able to take back over. What I was going to say is these guys weren't even originally on the card, but Earl, sometimes he sees stuff like this, he sees these patterns, and he knows when to make a good match like this.
Yeah, and obviously we are definitely getting our money's worth here in the early going. As Bimson is just kind of, he's not giving up on this match, O'Neal can throw whatever he wants at him, but he's going after that ankle again. I mean, just relentless after that ankle.
Yeah, Bimson throwing him around, trying to ground him, and going after the ankle over and over again. Trying to keep things in the dead center of the ring when he can. Smart call when you're up against someone like Orville Neal. But Orville hitting the big Uranagi, looking to tune up the band for a clothesline. Never seen that from Orville before.
Yeah, once again, back into these mind games. I'm not too sure. You never know what's going to happen with him. This guy could pick him up and somehow, turn it into a senton bomb. There's no telling with this guy in the ring.
Yeah, and he's trying to use the weight advantage to his advantage as much as he can with those running clotheslines, those senton bombs. He knows he can't out-wrestle Bimson at this point, but he can throw his weight around.
Yeah, and that is something that Bimson has had tons of experience fighting against, though. You think Orville Neal would switch it up because Bimson, obviously, one of these smaller wrestlers here in Slaughterhouse. So Orville will go for the pin again on Bimson.
Orville Neal getting the pin on Lavernius Bimson, making his strong return back to Slaughterhouse Wrestling.
And a dominant showing by Bimson, though. That's the thing. He keeps staying in these matches, putting on some of the most technically proficient matches, which was why it was so much fun to watch, Jason and him go at it, so recently. But putting on the fantastic matches, but just not closing them out. If he could somehow turn the tide right there, just like the Bankrollers did early on in their career, turning those, near wins into actual wins. But like you said, Orville Neal coming back like a storm, getting that first W out of the way, and let's see what he can do from here.
I will give a little credit to Bimson here. He has not been able to close out these singles wins as much as he would like to, but in tag team wrestling with his preferred partner, Mandy Hamilton, he has had a good deal of success. Pre-STO and Black Snow coming onto the scene again, they were the ones that really took Supreme to their absolute limit. So maybe this is a wake-up call for Bimson. Maybe this is a sign that he should move back into tag team wrestling if he can. I don't know, I'm not going to speak for him. But either way, I am excited to see his future, and I'm also very excited to see Orville Neal's future. Glad he's back, glad he was on the show. Loved seeing that match.
Yeah, it was a really fun one to see. And, coming up next, we have about as odd a match as I think we feel like we were going to see in Slaughterhouse, seeing the Damon Sky, whatever he might go by now, taking on Jason Waterfalls, who's kind of on the upswing of things. Kind of curious to see how this one's going to play out.
Yes, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Wallop, but this is Damon Sky's first match since the cage match, correct?
I think so. I think after that match, he kind of, just like the Cowboy did early on in Slaughterhouse, kind of rode off into the sunset. And we'll have to see tonight if that little sabbatical he took to study martial arts, pottery. I'm not too sure what he did in his spare time, but we'll have to see if it worked out to his advantage.
Yeah, definitely Wallop. And I know Jason Waterfalls is coming into this match, like he comes into every match, very pissed off. Damon Sky was one of his first losses here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. His first loss on a numbered show, I believe, after those two tournaments took place. And it lit that fire under him. He could be fine not winning in the first tournament. The tag team tournament, whatever, it's uncharted territory for him. But losing that singles match on pay-per-view is what changed the game for Jason a little bit. It tightened him up, but it also made him way angrier than he already was. So I think he's coming into this match looking for a little bit of revenge if he can get it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, what, obviously we have not seen Damon Sky wrestle in so long. Obviously, one of the, strongest wrestlers here early on. He had a shot at the title, when he first got going. So I'm curious to see how this is going to, play out tonight. I mean, both of these guys, obviously different styles. You see they're just missing completely both people.
Yeah, lots of striking in this early game here, Wallop. Jason going for the arm wringer there. We'll see if that's a force to be reckoned with here in the match.
Both of these guys just kind of testing each other out, just kind of testing the waters, see what the other guy is going to throw at them.
Demon Sky here. Damon Sky going for those drop toe holds and the gut wrench suplex, showing off his power advantage early here. But we know Jason really pulls it out mid-game. You know, we've seen a lot of matches from him lately where we thought he might not have it, and then somewhere in the middle, he pulls out some of those fancy pins, those nice roll-ups, that ghetto clutch you love so much, and really starts to get the victory. We see here Damon taking him for a ride on the giant swing, showing off that power.
Yeah, obviously, you know, Jason's going to need to kind of start doing something here in this match. I know it's still pretty early on, and we have seen him turn a match around about midway through, but he's got to get some offense started here if he wants to finish out strong.
Yeah, we see there Damon going for the sharpshooter, trying to make him submit early into this game if he can, but Jason turning around with a big scoop slam and shooting Damon off and getting the flying clothesline tackle.
Yeah, very interesting. I don't know if you could hear that, but he actually says scoop slam when he does that move. Very interesting little quirk he's got.
I know, I don't understand it, but God bless him. Everybody needs their thing.
And honestly, just Damon Sky kind of coming back on a tear. Obviously, this sabbatical worked out in his favor, but Jason Waterfall's not going to take that laying down, as he's going to kind of get back to that work that he does, just attacking this different areas of the body throughout the match. You know, very smart tactic. We've seen work for him in the past few weeks.
Damon going back to the sharpshooter here, really making Jason work for this. I don't think Jason has been stretched out like this in a long time, Wallop.
Yeah, obviously, he's a very big proponent of working out. You know, we've seen the big money gym so many times now, but he has a very odd thing about stretching. It seems like he doesn't believe in it. I'm not too sure, you know, what's going on there, but, you know, obviously Damon Sky might show him the benefits of that tonight.
Right there, that STF, trapping the head and the arm, working both at the same time, working the body. Jason getting absolutely stretched out. Like I just said, schoolboy driver there, almost a 3 count.
Yeah, like I said, you know, he's got to get something going, and this is a good start here, but he's got to string it together. Damon Sky has had the advantage, been getting, you know, his moves going more and more often, but if Jason can just keep this going, I feel like he can turn this match around.
And there we go, moves like that sidewalk slam. Jason getting in a little more offense.
She throws Damon into the corner, but just does not take advantage. He'll just kind of go back to attacking just different body parts of the man.
This is what Jason does, though. He wears people down. You know, Damon Sky has been going for those big submissions, that sharpshooter, that I called it an STF, but it's actually the yes lock. Going for both of them fairly early and trying to just get them as early as possible. Jason works for it. He makes sure those submissions are as pinpoint accurate as possible before even putting them down. Looks like we're going to have a pinfall here.
Oh, kick out before 3. Jason definitely has been eating his Wheaties, as he will find a way to kick out after that impressive series of offensive moves by Damon Sky.
Hot dog from Damon Sky there, taking Jason back on the giant swing, letting all that blood flow to his head.
Yeah, he's going to have to, and they'll go for it again right there at the rope. Surprised Jim is going to let this work out, but I mean, I guess if he's not reaching his hands out to get under the rope.
David looks to be a little winded after both of those. I don't blame him.
Yeah, it's a little tricky right there to kind of keep your breath after doing that twice in a row.
Damon blocking the double underhook suplex, setting Jason up for the takedown. Maybe going back to the sharpshooter, one of those other submission moves he's been trying to work this match.
Jason with a foot to the jaw right there, and he'll finally land something.
Sliding D from Jason Waterfalls, now targeting the head a little bit. Good strategy here. Got to change it up when you can. Going off the top rope for that deadly senton. We've seen him have a lot of success with that move, Wallop. Will he be able to capitalize?
Well, the thing with Jason is when his hits land, they hurt. but he has got to get to the land. These past few blows he's been able to get on Damon Sky, but getting thrown outside the ring right here in front of us is not going to help his cause out, as he'll kind of stand in a daze for a second, try to catch his breath before he goes back in there with Damon.
Yeah, both men taking the opportunity to catch their breath and rest for just a second. This match moving into 12 minutes now. Maybe a little longer than people were expecting after the cage match loss that Damon Sky suffered. But, maybe this is what he needs to get back in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. I don't know.
Yeah, and once again, just kind of letting the blood rush to Jason's head is just going to be his main tactic here. But Jason does not stay down for long, but Damon will just kind of throw him into the corner and just see what can happen over here as he'll prepare him for another top rope move. Saw that superplex a minute ago.
Jason able to reverse it into a sliced bread, going up top again into the top rope blockbuster. Jason Waterfalls is back in this match, Wallop.
And he's got to get the pin here. Go for the pin, put him in a submission lock, do something as he'll get him. Oh, but the rope will keep him under. But he's going to keep it going, it looks like. He's going to start getting some offense in this match and go after that head once again of Damon Sky.
The knees to the head softened up after that spinning clothesline, those other clubbing blows to the head. Jason Waterfalls has changed up his game plan for the better. We're going to have a pinfall here. Damon Sky sneaking out the win from under Jason Waterfalls. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, honestly, Jason kind of started to turn it around right there. He got some offense going on, and it looked like he was getting ready to maybe go for a pin and submission, just a little bit too close to the ropes right there, as Damon Sky will get back to his winning ways and kind of cut short Jason's little winning streak he had going. But once again, just like Lavernius in that first match, a great match by Jason Waterfalls, who was able to kind of stick around and stay in it for the long haul.
Yeah, a little surprising there after Jason winning a few matches and Dong suffering the defeat he did at the hands of the Chicago Cowboy. But that's what Slaughterhouse Wrestling is all about. We're all about surprises, and folks, that was a great match.
Yeah, honestly, I think so far tonight we've had two fantastic matches. Both really didn't turn out the way I feel like we maybe thought they were going to, but fantastic matches all around. Also, big shout out to Jim, has not really screwed up so far tonight, so we'll hope he can keep that trend going.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of keeping things going, sorry, I'm a little overly caffeinated right now, and it's a little hard for me to focus. We are going to see the debut of a brand new wrestler here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. The debut of the newest member of Behold a Dark Horse, Apocalypse, taking on Hell's second favorite demon, Lucifer Velasca. We haven't seen Lucifer Velasca in a minute here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. Good to see him back. Good to see Earl Dipshit getting Lucifer back into his good graces and putting this match together. I think this is going to be one to watch.
Yeah, honestly, I cannot wait to see what Apocalypse does here in Slaughterhouse. And honestly, it's kind of funny, kind of done a good bit of speaking, kind of very similar to Lucifer in the way he was when he first joined Slaughterhouse Wrestling, making some very odd accusations and demands of the people he wrestles. And Apocalypse has kind of come in here saying he wants to dominate and rule Slaughterhouse Wrestling. The man is pure evil, Ron.
Yeah, you can say that again. Both men in this match are pure evil from what I understand. I don't know much about Apocalypse. I know that he has spent some time in Florida. He has spent some time in Japan. He's kind of been here, there, and everywhere, but he hasn't had his big break yet. And I think that he believes that defeating Lucifer Velasca here at Slaughterhouse 9 will put him officially on the map. And I know STO and the other Behold a Dark Horse guys backstage are going to be watching this one intently.
Yeah, so this is definitely going to be one of the better, I feel like one of the better fresh meat matches. We've had a lot over the last few pay-per-views, so it'll be interesting to see where kind of this one ranks as far as it goes. We've seen some impressive debuts, we've seen some lackluster ones, but having to start out against Lucifer is definitely going to be tough for Apocalypse here.
Yeah, absolutely. things are going to be tough for Apocalypse. We haven't seen Lucifer in a while, but when we did see him, we know that he is a heavy striker. One of the best strikers we have here, able to really throw his weight behind all those punches and not afraid to get his hands dirty.
And Apocalypse looking like he's going to be sporting a mask too. Not too sure how he's going to see out of that one. Lucifer obviously has cut eye holes in his, which definitely help him as far as his ring awareness. Now Apocalypse kind of going the opposite direction. I'm not sure if he's someone that can just hear what's going on around him, like some sort of, generic ninja. I'm not too sure what he's got going on, but we're about to see.
Yeah, no, I hadn't really seen Apocalypse too much before this match, and I guess I didn't realize how all over that mask is. You just said that, and I know I'm just echoing it. I'm just repeating what you said, but I didn't really realize there's no eye holes, there's no nose holes, there's no mouth hole, there's no ear holes. So I'm kind of wondering if the cardio game is going to be a factor here. You know what I mean? It can't be easy to breathe in that mask.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We have a number of masked wrestlers here in Slaughterhouse, but never any that are this obviously masked. I mean, you've seen Walnut, we don't want to know what's underneath his mask. Lucifer, kind of the same. We know he's a demon from hell. Not too sure that would be fun for the fans. And Apocalypse looks like he's going to join that club of people. I just do not want to see what's underneath that mask.
Well, I disagree with you there, Wallop. I really want to see it, and I know I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be disappointed, or I'm going to be absolutely horrified. It's not going to be a good outcome when I see it. But, I'm still curious. I just got it now. I've been wanting to know that for Lucifer Velasquez for a long time. I bring it up every time we see him. I'm always wondering what that mask is even made of. I don't even know if that's actually a mask. It could just be his face, and it looks weird. Maybe Apocalypse is the same way. We don't know, and we won't see it until he takes the goddamn thing off. But hey, that's neither here nor there, Wallop. This match so far has been absolutely physical.
Yeah, both these guys... Lucifer obviously exhibiting some of what we've come to know him for, just that power, those throws, those lifts. But Apocalypse, turns out, he's going to be more of a striker. He's kind of a guy that's throwing those blows left and right and getting in a few moves here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like both of these men fairly physically matched together. I know Lucifer Velasquez kind of used to being the bigger man in his matches, so maybe he had to switch up his game plan a little bit for someone who can do something like that and just ring him up in a headlock. And that shoulder breaker so easily. He is not used to being thrown around that easily, Wallop.
Yeah, that's definitely not something we've seen, happen to Lucifer at all, especially not recently. I feel like one of his last few matches was with Ricky in that hardcore, tournament. And, obviously we're not going to see much of that from Ricky Big Bucks, especially against someone like Lucifer, as Apocalypse will just throw a left and right blow and just take Lucifer down.
Both men down now in this match. I'm seeing some blood splatter on the ring. Are you seeing that, Wallop? Am I making that up?
No, I think I see it too, and I don't think it's from a previous match. I did not notice that before. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Obviously, if it's from either of these two guys, I'm not excited because these are both terrified human. I say humans. Once again, we have a lot of non-human wrestlers here in Slaughterhouse. Not too sure what they have going on in the ring, but one of them is definitely leaking something red all over this ring.
Absolutely. And look at the way Apocalypse manhandling Lucifer Velasquez with that jumping pile driver. And the knee to the pec, I think? I don't think I've seen that move ever. Oh my gosh, Apocalypse just absolutely manhandling Lucifer Velasquez here.
Yeah, Lucifer's definitely not one to take this lying down for long, but I just don't know if he has the stamina to take this many strong moves from Apocalypse. I mean, the guy looks like he's just one big muscle.
Superman punched the corner there from Apocalypse, really trying to target the exposed chin. Maybe he's heard us on commentary and he noticed the difference in the mask, really trying to take advantage there.
Yeah, it sure does look like it, as he'll throw Lucifer outside of the ring, a place Lucifer is pretty well familiar with, obviously being a fan of fighting outside of the ring. But Apocalypse is just going to hang out, catch his breath, and wait for him to get back in, and they're just kind of trading blows there for a minute.
dodging the big boot there, but Lucifer's still able to hit the huge sidewalk slam. Doesn't seem like it phased Apocalypse too much with those clubbing blows. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is... Oh, another jumping pile driver. This is just... it's a slaughter at this point. Lucifer's got to get something going, or Apocalypse is just going to stand there and taunt him, it looks like, as Jim Shorts will begin to count.
Choosing to flex instead of playing into Lucifer Velasquez's plan, reversing the choke slam and hitting a textbook suplex of his own there. While my god, Apocalypse is a physical specimen.
Yeah, this is one of the more impressive debuts I think we have seen here in Slaughterhouse. This guy has come in and made a statement, taking on a very well-established wrestler here in Slaughterhouse, known as a strong man, a strong beast in there, and he's kind of just making it his plaything. But while I say that, Lucifer's kind of starting to turn things around.
Oh my god, Brainbuster from Apocalypse, dragging Lucifer in the center of the ring. Will he be able to capitalize on that huge move?
Yeah, I mean, Lucifer gets a few moves here and there, but he's really not stringing up enough to make a difference here in this match against Apocalypse. I mean, this guy's come out and dominated from the very beginning, so unless Lucifer just gets one of the most impressive runs of... Oh, I know that laugh.
Was that a shot at Walnut? Maybe calling him out a little bit, using his own taunt to taunt Lucifer? I'm shocked.
That might be what we just saw. Something I never thought we'd see in the ring is someone call out Walnut. Something we do not see very often here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. Only an insane human being would do that. So hopefully that's not what Apocalypse intended for that.
Look, only an insane human being would call out Lucifer Velasquez for his first match. And only an insane human being would be winning. So I don't know. We might see that match soon. We will see.
Lucifer going to do everything he can to kind of stay in this match, but he's got to keep laying it on Apocalypse because it looks like he's not going to take this lying down.
The chokeslam finally not getting reversed. Lucifer hitting it and going for the pin. Will this be enough, Walla?
Only a 2 count, kick out 13 minutes in. It's definitely going to take a lot more than that to kind of finish this one out. Another Superman punch from Lucifer. Once again, unmistakable what he's doing.
Ooh, a GTR style move, chopping Lucifer down. To my knowledge, Apocalypse has not gone for a pin yet. He is going to have to end this match soon, Wallop.
Yeah, this is obviously something we've seen in Slaughterhouse Wrestling from some of these newer guys. Not really too sure how to get some pins going. Another choke slam for Lucifer Velasquez. He'll go for the pin himself.
Lucifer knows the rules of wrestling. Not quite enough, though. Air raid crash, laughing again. Mocking Lucifer, mocking Walnut, mocking God himself at this point. My God, Apocalypse needs to end this slaughter.
I honestly don't know if he knows you can pin in this wrestling league. It seems like he's really just going to keep going until Lucifer can't get up anymore.
But Lucifer definitely has read a wrestling rulebook at least once in his life, knows the score, knows how to win, and is capitalizing on these big moves. He knows he does not have much left here.
Yeah, he's going to keep going. Big move pin, big move pin, big move pin. And it's honestly the smartest tactic he can employ at this point because Apocalypse is not going to let up. He's just going to keep it going. And the first pin by Apocalypse here at 16 minutes.
Folks, off the hip toss. After all of those shoulder breakers, the pile drivers, Apocalypse with a single hip toss takes down Lucifer Velasquez.
I mean, what a match. This guy came in and dominated from the very beginning, the very opening minutes of this match, and just continued to finish it out until that final bell ring when he got his first pin in. Maybe he thought he needed to inflict a good amount of pain on Lucifer before he felt like he was deserving of a little bit of mercy. But all I know is those laughs, that impressive win, it seems like he's gearing up for, some words against Walnut.
We will see. I am curious to see where this goes. And you have to think, Apocalypse fresh on the scene here. His first match in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. A lot of the times guys go unaffiliated in their first match, but he signed with Behold a Dark Horse. And instantly got the win for them. Another win for that stable's great legacy right now, and you got to think STO, Black Snow, all those guys back there they watched that match and they are so happy they spent the money and the time recruiting this guy. I know I would be.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the rich seem to get richer when it comes to Behold a Dark Horse. They really have a great eye for picking out talent, and it just seems like, getting Apocalypse in here is just going to keep them on the up and up.
Absolutely. But moving forward, we are going to see someone else from Birds of War, actually, another stable here that has been dominating in a six-man tag team action, trying to make a break again in the singles division here after getting a lot of great wins and a couple more embarrassing losses. Jabroni will be taking on Bruce Dwayne, and I am excited about this one, Wallop.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, Dwayne has got his work cut out for him taking on Jabroni in his first match here in Slaughterhouse, so hopefully this can be a good one, a fun one to watch. Hopefully it's not going to be too much too one-way, honestly. I'm kind of hoping Jabroni doesn't come in and just wipe the floor with the new guy.
We will see. I have been excited to see Bruce Dwayne here. He is an absolutely creepy motherfucker. I'm sorry, my breath just got taken away looking at this guy. I don't like looking directly at him for too long. Hopefully Jabroni will be able to make heads or tails of this.
Yeah, very interesting, obviously, outfit for him, but from what we've heard from him, he doesn't really like people to see his face. He's kind of like Lucifer and all these other guys in that regard. He has something with his face. Not too sure what it might be, but very uncomfortable with the idea of it. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, Jabroni's someone we don't really ever see his eyes. There's some weird things. So maybe Bruce Dwayne will get over it, or maybe he'll be the newest member of Slaughterhouse to never show his face.
Jabroni going right for the non-existent eyes of Bruce Dwayne, trying to maybe just make a statement. I don't know what that strategy is really leading to, but I do trust Jabroni on this one.
Yeah, obviously, we've seen a lot from Jabroni. We have a bigger sample size for him. So, I think we know what to expect out of him. He's a wrestler's wrestler. I think the guys in the back really enjoy watching him out there. And he's shown he can really do it, as Bruce Dwayne looks like he'll just kind of keep trying to get some punches in there, some blows in there, but he's going to have to start wrestling soon if he wants this to finish out his way. And once again, Jabroni just kind of leading the way in this match, going for the early pin. Looks like he's not really paying much respect to the young blood. So, honestly, Dwayne, you got to do something a little bit different up there, my man, or Jabroni's going to make quick work of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god, Bruce Dwayne trying to blow green mist at Jabroni. Jim Short's missing it, and I guess since he missed, it wouldn't have been a disqualification anyway. But did you see the way he just bit Jabroni's head, Wallop?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. Did not enjoy watching that.
But Jabroni trying to just strictly out-wrestle Bruce Dwayne at this point. I can't believe that... did he just break his fingers, Wallop?
I'm not too sure. Looks like he went after it. I'm not too sure if he actually did the deed, but he definitely tried to.
I heard some sort of a snap. They might not be broken. They might just be dislocated, but that was absolutely gnarly. I was about to say, though, normally when Jabroni is in the ring with another competitor, he is the charismatic one. He's the one with all the fun dances, the fun moves, the stuff that people really remember. And even though he is wearing purple and lime green, there's someone in the ring that might be just a little more memorable than him. And I think he's kind of pissed off about it.
Yeah, it sure looks that way. I mean, once again, Dwayne got to get something going if he wants to be remembered at all. I mean, Jabroni, obviously very recognizable face here in Slaughterhouse. Fantastic wrestler, out of the whole Birds of War. And another bite to the eyes, to the head? I'm not too sure.
somewhere, maybe in that small space between where the bandana starts and the glasses end. I'm not really sure, but luckily Jim Short's getting in there, calling that illegal maneuver, giving him a 5 count to break it up. Good refereeing there. Glad we hired this guy.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to not play any of this BS that we've seen from some of our formal, Double Dutch, Doug Douglas. We've seen some, very interesting refereeing here in Slaughterhouse, and we've gotten to this point where we're having these new guys come in and try to prove themselves, but Dwayne kind of getting a little bit of offense going here against Jabroni, kind of landing these blows left and right. Not too many wrestling moves from him, but man, he sure knows how to use those hands and feet.
But Jabroni taking him down with the clothesline, finally getting some offense together here. Knocking him down with the elbow, hoping to go for the ocular pat down, his preferred finishing move. Will it be enough early in this match, Wallop? It will be! Oh my gosh, Jabroni winning in absolutely dominating fashion. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what we expected with this match starting out. Obviously, Bruce Dwayne, somebody might need to kind of look at the rules of wrestling a little bit more. It looks like he was a little bit unfamiliar about what he was supposed to do in the ring, as he didn't really land but maybe one wrestling move, as Jabroni made short work of him, something we kind of expected, Jabroni being one of the top wrestlers here in Slaughterhouse. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with Dwayne from here. Jabroni obviously gets back to his winning ways.
Yes, absolutely. Jabroni lost 2 big matches in a row, went back to the tag division, won 2 smaller matches, and maybe just needed that confidence boost to get back what he felt like he had lost. And against Bruce Dwayne, one of the more unorthodox wrestlers I think I've seen in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, he really proved it. That's the Jabroni we all know and love, the Jabroni that's been selling t-shirts left and right, Jabroni that gets all the chants from the crowd. They stomp, they clap, they stomp, clap for him. And he proved it tonight. He didn't go anywhere. He may have slipped, but he didn't fall.
Yeah, and you know what? From what I've been hearing, Bruce Dwayne actually learned to wrestle, playing some games when he was a kid. From what I have heard, and I'm not too sure if this is true, I've heard from unconfirmed sources, he played a lot of WCW versus NWO Revenge, did a lot of Royal Rumbles, and Eric Bischoff was the only guy he played as. So I'm guessing that might have a little bit to do with it. Obviously, Bischoff in that game did a lot of punching and kicking, so I'm guessing that might have a little bit to do with it. I'm not too sure if that's true, but we did see a lot of punching and kicking out there.
Wallop, let me correct you. He could do only punching and kicking. That might be it. Maybe that's where he learned wrestling. Maybe he should have played with Rey Mysterio wearing a My Favorite Wrestler is Eddie Guerrero t-shirt like I did when I was a kid. I think I learned the rules of wrestling the right way and how to throw a suplex. But you know what? That's neither here nor there. Congratulations, Jabroni. See you later, Bruce Dwayne. Hope you stick around after that one. But hey, we are now going to see Behold a Dark Horse versus Supreme, Nightmare versus Jacked Punk. I am excited to see this one. 2 absolute behemoths here in the ring that I have enjoyed watching over the past few weeks. Nightmare, been on a tear ever since Behold a Dark Horse. Changed up their look, went to the gym, learned a few new moves, got some new strategies together. And Jacked Punk, a member of Supreme who's been there for a while but only been in Slaughterhouse Wrestling for a few weeks now, really still trying to make a firm statement here. And a win over Nightmare would be the statement he needs to make.
Yeah, it definitely would. I cannot wait to see these guys in the ring, see what they can do. Nightmare, obviously someone that has kind of been in the gym recently and doesn't seem like he's taken on too much muscle. Still sticking around that current weight level, looks like. But we saw some insane agility from him this last pay-per-view, something I don't think we ever expected out of a man his size.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole thing with Behold a Dark Horse, at least, Nightmare and STO. You get out there, you see them, you see their size, and they start doing moves like Nightmare's choke bomb. And you think, yeah, I expect that. He looks like a strong guy. But then they start throwing out Hurricane Ranas, they start doing backflips, they start diving outside of the ring, and that is what makes them dangerous. That's what elevates them from just good wrestlers to great wrestlers, Wallop. And you know what? Tonight, I think Nightmare is just going to show that all over again.
Yeah, you got that right. Nightmare kind of starting early out in this one, but I mean, I feel like this is going to be another one of these back and forth matches. And that agility.
Trying to go for the Hurricane Rana and getting stacked up with the power bomb. Jack Punk not playing with that early. Nightmare's connecting that time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you there, but connecting with that Hurricane Rana like we were just talking about, going for that early wallop.
Yeah, and then there's the pin. You know, he's obviously trying to assert his dominance early on in this match, and I don't think he's going to try to let Jack Punk get a foot in edgewise. Like he's not going to let him get anything going in this match, and he's showing it. Those Hurricane Ranas is just one of his favorite moves right now. I think someone kind of showed them how they work, and now he just loves it. I mean, maybe it's like a roller coaster to the guy, just that feeling, but he just is a big fan of them.
I think he's heard our commentary a couple of times. Do you ever get that sneaking suspicion with some of these wrestlers that they maybe go back and watch these matches, or they're watching from the back, and they start doing things to pop us a little bit?
I do think that. I think that's something that's very, very possible. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to impress us. Obviously, you got guys in the locker room that are kind of lining up to fight some of these guys. But I got to say, either way, you love it.
Oh, I love to see it. Jack Punk using some of the strength there to take Nightmare down. That big headbutt, too. You know, as agile as Nightmare is, I think Jack Punk has him beat in the strength department, just like pound for pound, sheer strength.
Yeah, it's one of those interesting things. You know, you can tell Jack has been working out for a long time. Obviously, Nightmare got a little bit of weight, but still has that muscle. But I think in pound for pound, I do think Jack Punk is still a good bit stronger.
Cover here from Jack Punk, not even a 1 count. He said Jack Punk is working out. Look, I don't want to, make any accusations here, but I will say there are certain members of the Slaughterhouse roster that I think are very happy that we don't have any sort of wellness policy here. And one of them might be in the ring right now, but that's all I'll say.
Yeah, one of them might be in the ring, and it's probably not the guy close to 300 pounds doing Hurricane Ranas. I'm not going to say anything more, though.
Nightmare in control of this match, though. Huge shoulder tackle there, starting from a grounded position, leading it off to get to the Hurricane Rana. Nightmare really using his agility to his strength here in this match.
Yeah, I don't know if, Jack Punk didn't spend any time researching his opponent. Maybe he just thought he'd be fighting a big man, a big, strong guy out there. Probably didn't expect all these Hurricane Ranas unless he's watched some of his matches, which is ironic because it's one of his favorite moves lately.
Choke bomb there from Nightmare. Only a 2 count, but still a move that big that early in the match does some damage to the spine and the back. Jack Punk has to be hurting now. Yeah, Wallop, you said that you thought that Jack Punk may have watched some of his matches. I talked to him backstage a little bit about what he's all about, who he is, and oh my gosh, cover here after that huge move, that short, the almost Gonzo bomb style power bomb. Jesus Christ.
And almost a 3 count.
Yeah, almost a 3 count. But I talked to him a little bit backstage about who he is, what he likes to do. And he's a guy who grew up going to punk shows, been to a lot of punk and metal shows before he decided to be a wrestler. Loves a mosh pit, which makes sense because, his strength looks so strong. But he's been kind of bummed out lately. There's no shows right now due to situations, and he hasn't been able to just get in there and shove a bunch of teenagers like he likes to do. So I think he's just been spending his free time watching shows on YouTube, like concerts that you can find, just Google any band you want to. And he's just been kind of shoving shit around in his living room, and that's been his workout routine for a little bit. But, that doesn't lend itself. When you're doing that, you just don't have time to watch tape back. You don't have time to watch this tape to see what kind of moves you need to prepare for when you're just pushing over your dog and your lamps and shit in your living room.
Yeah, and I do think that Slaughterhouse provides him some kind of outlet to be physical with, guys everywhere around him. And, it looks like he's enjoying it every time he's in the ring. He definitely seems like someone who moshed all through high school. I mean, who didn't, But this guy, it seems like he's been doing it every single year since he was probably 6 years old.
Absolutely. But God, he doesn't even need to work out at this point. Have you seen the power of this guy? These power bombs, that double underhook short power bomb there, all on the head, the neck, and the shoulders of Nightmare. That takes some strength to pull off.
It really does. It just kind of gets me clamoring for some kind of like apocalypse Jack Punk match. I mean, these kind of things, seeing this unbridled strength some of these guys have, and you just think about these dream matchups. But honestly, he's got to get Nightmare out of the way first, and Nightmare's not going to make it easy for him.
And Jack Punk returning to that headbutt, opening up a cut on Nightmare's head. I don't know if that was the power bomb. The headbutt, or what move did that? But now he's covering Jack Punk, covered in blood, trying to pin Jack Punk to the mat. Nightmare fighting through the pain here.
Yeah, and honestly, kind of surprising. We've had blood in 2 of the first 4 or 5 matches here, and we have all these. Oh, a 3 count.
I'm sorry. That move, I don't know what that move is called. I'm going to try to talk to Jack Punk and get it out of him. But he hit that move twice in this match. Those 2 suplexes, and then that sort of a long pile driver. I believe it's actually called an orange crush. I'm just now learning that now. Jack Punk is yelling it at me because I think he could hear me. That move was his key to victory. I have not seen that in any Jack Punk match we've seen so far. But God, he needs to pull that out more often. That was amazing.
Yeah, just a fantastic match from both guys. Obviously, Nightmare can't feel too bad. Kind of put on an offensive showing early on against Jack Punk, who managed to kind of turn the match on its head and kind of just go after, as it were, Nightmare's head and neck. So Jack Punk obviously getting the win for Supreme. Those little mini battles that these factions are having against each other. And, his guys back in the locker room got to be pretty happy about this one.
And hey, speaking of those guys back in the locker room, just want to take everybody's attention back to the main event tonight. Vint from Supreme defending against Chicago Cowboy. We've already heard from the Chicago Cowboy, but we were also able to catch up with Victor Hill, our champion, to get his thoughts on tonight.
Yes, order me 4 cases of those Bungani cigars from Africa. And bring me a bottle of the Supreme Nubian Nectar vodka, please. I am fiending for something right now. Well, hold on. Yeah, make it quick. Hold on. Knock at the door before you come in because I got something to do real quick. Chicago Cowboy. We've got some unfinished business, me and you. When we had our very first tournament to determine the Slaughterhouse World Champion, you beat my ass. You beat my ass so good that I had to go back home and reevaluate my life. Since that day, I've been on a roll. I've been unstoppable. I've put on 5-star matches. Meltzer his meter just broke. That's how fantastic I've been wrestling. The difference between Supreme and Bankrollers or any other group in Slaughterhouse is y'all merely exist. We are, period. For example, look at the Supreme Kings. The Supreme Kings are in the history books, the longest reigning tag team champions in Slaughterhouse Sim Wrestling history, hands down. And believe me, they will get their titles back from Behold the Dark Horse. I have no doubt in their abilities. But let's focus on me and you. Me and you, we have unfinished business. So when we face each other, eye to eye, man to man, forget about Walnut. Because yes, Walnut beat your ass. And I was there in the back, watching it, salivating, just destroying my doggone dressing room because I thought that I deserved to go against Walnut. And I proved it when I cracked his nuts. Pause. But I'm gonna do the same thing to you. So wear your assless chaps, wear your cowboy hat, bring your Garth Brooks CDs or MP3s or whatnot, wear your Stetson cologne. I want you to bring all that Chicago Cowboy aura that you have, because at the end of the night, you will be back against the canvas, eyes up staring at your reigning, defending, undisputed Slaughterhouse Sim Wrestling World Champion, Victor Vint hill. And remember, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Strong words there from our champion Wallop. Strong words. He knows he has his work cut out for him here against the Chicago Cowboy, but I think he is here ready to have a match and finally prove once and for all against the one person who could beat him in singles competition that he is supreme.
Yeah, honestly, Ron, I think it's going to be a fantastic match for both guys, and I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to see how it's going to go.
Definitely. But we heard a lot about Walnut in that match. We are going to take it to our next match. Frank the Trash Man Reynolds of Birds of War taking on Walnut of the Exotic Husbands. Two men, both very enigmatic. We don't even know they're men. I hate saying that. But we don't know if they're human. We don't know if they're men. We don't know anything about them except that they are both insane people. And they are here to wrestle each other in a landmine death match and kill each other.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not too sure what's going to happen in the ring. I think we have some idea between these two guys, you know, what they both do in the ring, but honestly, I'm surprised every single time they do anything. I mean, both of these guys, Frank obviously coming in on a hot streak, kind of cooling down after that and continually surprising us, you know, different ways, pulling out that sight in that first match with Noble and then losing in the first round of the hardcore tournament. And then on the other hand, you have Walnut, who has just been a consistent monster in the Slaughterhouse Wrestling League. And I'm not too sure what to think.
I am not either. You know, we've seen a lot from both of these men in matches that are fairly straightforward. You know, when you're just wrestling a wrestler, Walnut against Damon Scott, Walnut against Chicago Cowboy, even Walnut against Vint. We have seen them just take on normal straight up wrestlers. Frank versus Thomas Noble is a good example, but we have not seen these two insane monsters wrestle someone quite like each other. And I don't know what's going to happen. I have absolutely no idea if one of these guys or both of these guys is going to leave the ring in one piece, but I am so excited to see it Wallop.
Yeah, same. I'm not too sure what more we can say about this match. Obviously, going to be interesting. You know, Earl Dipshit obviously going to be refereeing. You know, he likes to be in the middle of all this guts and gore and, you know, human, you know, whatever might be coming out of these guys in the ring tonight. And honestly, with these landmines, there's no telling how it's going to end up or if they'll both finish out in one piece.
Folks, just to remind you, this is a landmine death match. We are going to see barbed wire in the ring. We are seeing sickles, microphones, a barbed wire baseball bat, a chair, everything brought out here. Everything is completely legal and by Earl Dipshit's account, encouraged.
And just watching this, both of these guys, just the size difference, it's just astounding. Walnut standing at close to 7 feet tall, and Frank barely hitting 5 himself.
Frank winding up that punch, just taking a shot right at that exposed chin of Walnut, but Walnut in turn, knocking Frank on his ass twice. I'm just so invested in this one, Wallop. I gotta break my journalistic integrity here a little bit. As soon as the promos were exchanged and the match was announced, I knew this was gonna be one to watch, and I'm stunned that I'm paid to watch it. But oh my god, Frank diving onto a light tube, breaking it over his own head.
You did see he did that kidney grab that Walnut does all the time. This guy, he's trying to get into Walnut's weird, odd, nut-sized brain. He's trying to get in there, and doing that kidney grab, something that Walnut himself does on his opponents, is a very interesting way to start out this match.
He grabbed the kidney and then tried to do Thomas Noble's spear and landed on a light tube, and he is still standing, Wallop. I don't even know what to make of this.
There's that damn laugh and just slap to the head we're so familiar with. But Frank will return it, that slap to the head. He'll go back and give him a headbutt of his own.
now choking him on the mat. Earl dipshit trying to break it up, and Walnut maybe that laugh was to tell Frank, I know the rules of wrestling. I know what's legal right now. I'm gonna use the rules to my advantage.
Yeah, honestly, this one this match could end in 5 minutes. It could end in 30. I'm not too sure what to expect from these two men here in the ring tonight.
You say that, but Walnut does not get paid by the hour. He tries to keep his matches as short as he can. And you know what? If Frank keeps going like this exchange keeps going, that was the longest exchange I think I've ever seen here in Slaughterhouse. I don't know what's going to happen. We haven't seen Walnut in one of these hardcore situations, and we haven't seen Walnut against Frank. We've never seen Walnut go 20 minutes. The field is wide open right now.
Yeah, honestly, I think both of these guys, Walnut obviously just losing the belt, could eventually make a return for it if he's so inclined. Obviously, he doesn't seem too interested in it. He thought it was shiny, he liked having it, but that's about it for him.
Pinfall only gets a 1 count there. And I started laughing. I don't know if my microphone picked it up, because Walnut just did a new move. He did a running slap. He went to the ropes, ran off, and slapped Frank as hard as he can. Oh my god, Walnut is bleeding. Frank bit Walnut somewhere. It looked like the chest, it may have been the chin. Oh my god, pinfall attempt.
Almost a 3 count and again!
Going for the second one, the pirouette. Almost a 3 count. Oh my god, Wallop. Neither men using the furniture to their advantage here. But God, we're already seeing blood. We're already seeing violence. This is incredible.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened. A Superman punch from Frank as he just continues to demolish Walnut here in the ring tonight.
Spinning chop from Frank into the satellite Hurricane Rana, lucha style all the way across the body. But Walnut palming his head like a basketball, deadly move. We have seen him end matches with a move that simple.
But he just does not have the stamina for these types of matches, especially when Frank is just non-stop offense. We haven't seen anything like this. I mean, since maybe the Jabroni match, obviously the Victor Hill match, it was a fantastic win, but just this non-stop offense is just unexpected.
Going for the pin off of Hurricane Rana again. Will it be enough this time? It was!
It's
Frank
a 3 count.
Wins! Frank beats Walnut in his second ever singles loss in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. This is unprecedented, Wallop.
I don't know what to say about this match. Frank, somebody we've seen in a lot of matches, but he always seems to impress when it's just him in the ring, and he continues to do that in a match where they didn't touch the landmines, which is good for the people in the front row. But what in the world? Walnut has lost 2 weeks in a row here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling.
Actually, he did beat Big Money Marty last week, but he does now have 2 singles losses here, which is the story. Walnut is beatable. We thought for so long, at least I thought, I don't want to speak for you or the fans here, Wallop, but I thought for so long that Walnut, there's just some statistical anomaly with this guy that he could not be pinned or submitted in a wrestling ring. But he is fallible. He can be beat. And 2 men, Vint and Frank Reynolds, now have proven that if you try, if you get those numbers right, if you put in that secret Konami code in order to beat Walnut, it will work.
Yeah, and honestly, depending on how some of these matches finish out in the last half of this pay-per-view, we could see Frank shoot up the rankings after a win that big.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to think, we have 2 singles titles here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. Well, 2 represented by belts with some sort of nice shiny metal on them. I should say it like that so I don't offend Ricky Big Bucks Biloxi. But we have 2 real singles titles that people can vie for now. Frank just won a hardcore match. I know it didn't seem like it. He didn't use too much of the furniture. He didn't use the barbed wire, the landmines, whatever. But he did just win a hardcore match against Walnut. And you know what? That means something. And I think that should mean something to Tyler Blades.
Yeah, I think he's going to need to be on the lookout, obviously. We didn't know what to expect from Frank after losing in the first round of the hardcore tourney. to Lucifer Velasquez, something I still think shocked the Slaughterhouse world. But he has shown he can do it in a match where he really didn't take much advantage of his surroundings, something that was very surprising. Once again, we did not see that sickle come out, which is very surprising. We didn't see that in the last hardcore match he was in either, something that I think, kind of caught everybody pretty off guard. So I think it's going to be kind of interesting to see where Frank goes from here. Does he continue his run? But also, on the other hand, Walnut, he wrestles because that's what he does. I'm not too sure with him, what his, mentality is for that kind of thing. But so we'll have to see where he goes from here.
Absolutely. All I know is that Slaughterhouse 10 and any show beyond that one, the game has changed. The stakes are different. The expectations are different. And it's matches like that completely shift the landscape of Slaughterhouse wrestling. But hey, gotta turn our attention ahead. We have a great match coming up. Thomas Noble taking on Big Daddy D. Normally a tag wrestler here. Oh, no, Earl, you gotta take the shit out of the ring, man. They didn't sign up for that. Earl, thanks, bud. So, like I was gonna say, Big Daddy D, more of a tag wrestler, not really a singles guy. By my count, he only has one singles match here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling that I believe he lost, but he has taken it upon himself to get under Thomas Noble's skin. I'm not sure where the bad blood started, but I know that it is absolutely flowing to Wallop.
Yeah, both of these guys, just amazing physical specimens on both, different sides. Obviously, Big Daddy D a little bit more juiced up, as it were, compared to a lot of wrestlers here in Slaughterhouse. We've got some muscle definition, but this guy is an anomaly. He is a freak of nature, statistical freak of nature, going up against Thomas Noble, a guy who has worked for every pound of muscle on his body. So it'll be interesting to see how this kind of plays out for both guys. Obviously the muscle, the strength is there for both of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these men are absolutely jacked. I just don't think there's even a way around it. When I was talking about the wellness policy here at Slaughterhouse, that is a little non-existent. I think these two guys might be a little happy that doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for everything I've heard, even from Janet, Thomas Noble doesn't seem to be one of those guys who's ever really taken advantage of anything like that. He seems like he's kind of come by his muscles plain and simple, from just doing the hard work. I mean, obviously some of these other guys, Jack Punk, Big Daddy D, I'm not too sure if Lucifer is a demon from hell or if those are real muscles. It's kind of hard to tell. Apocalypse, I don't know. All of these guys, just very interesting builds, as far as their bodies. But from what I've heard, Thomas Noble is kind of an all-natural guy.
Absolutely. Maybe I shouldn't have spoken too soon. But I will say, we always want to talk about the numbers game with Thomas Noble. We say 4, we say 3, we say 3. There's a number you got to think about when you're thinking about Big Daddy D. Do you want to know what that number is?
What's that number, Ron?
6. Do you want to know what 6 means?
What does 6 mean?
He is 6% body fat. This man has no fat on his body. It's a statistical medical anomaly. Out there, muscular. I know we were just ripping on him a little bit for it, but this man has 6% body fat. And you know what? That adds up. He is so heavy. He is so dense. And even though Thomas Noble has worked his ass off in the gym to get there, he has lifted every weight in every single combination that you could think of. I don't know if he is as strong as Big Daddy D is. And for good reason. Big Daddy D's low body fat percentage scares me. It scares doctors. It scares Janet every time she sees him. Janet gets on to me about the fact that we even let him wrestle. I say, Janet, I'm not the one that makes the rules. Also, I like Big Daddy. I like seeing him wrestle, so sue me. But yeah, it's just going to be a factor here. It is going to be an absolute factor.
Yeah, honestly, I've always very much so enjoyed Forged in Fire and Big Daddy D's work. Interesting to see him in singles competition, something we don't really get to see from him that much. Thomas Noble, on the other hand, pretty much completely a singles wrestler. Most of his matches have been. And for good reason. It took him a long time to find the faction, the place he could call home. And now that he's here, I mean, he's the number one contender for Slaughterhouse Wrestling's championship belt. He is the guy to beat right now, and Big Daddy D can make a big statement especially after Walnut losing. You don't want to be that guy, Noble, as he'll throw Big Daddy D outside the ring for the second time tonight.
That was directly on his head, Wallop. Jesus Christ. I am glad he is taking so many steroids. Those muscles are protecting his brain right now.
Yeah, you sure hope so, because Noble is not letting him go, not letting up at all.
Absolutely. And here, Big Daddy D lifting him up, throwing him, flexing his muscles. Big Daddy just isolating him, icing him out of the ring, trying to create that space and that separation. Playing to the crowd a little bit more than I thought he would too here, Wallop. What do you make of that?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you, but I am excited to see this pin by Noble on Big Daddy D. Only a 2 count. After all this offense he has laid on him, it's going to be kind of difficult to keep him down for too long, it looks like.
Yeah, pump handle slam from Big Daddy into the elbow, just laying on him for the pin, mocking him a little bit there. But it looks like Noble going to just use a suplex position scoop slam, a new one into the spear. Cover from Noble. Almost a 3 count, Wallop. Almost. Thomas Noble has taken some offense, but he is still in this match.
Yeah, honestly, this guy is kind of just going at it left and right against Big Daddy D. He is not letting up. He sees how close he is to getting a shot at the title, as he'll go for the pinfall again and kicks out in 2 this time. Big Daddy D catches his breath in between that one move.
Now Big Daddy going to the arm, maybe just trying to work him down, trying to change up his game plan a little bit after taking one too many spears.
And another one for him.
But those spears are so successful. We used to rag on Thomas all the time for not being able to hit them, and now he is just boom, boom, boom every time he tries, just landing them, and they look so deadly.
And he's turned it around completely. He has figured out how to work that hand-eye coordination. He has just been doing, and an elbow to the head real quick to Big Daddy D, proving he's not going to stay down for long. Noble will take it, but he'll send it right back to him.
Noble with a back suplex there, working on that head and that neck of Big Daddy D even more. God, how is he still standing?
Both of these guys just trading gut wrenches. They seem to be big fans of the move.
Well, they're both power guys, and they want to show it off. It is their biggest asset. Cover here. Only a 2 count. Those spears having some diminishing returns, Wallop. He might have to start changing up his game plan a little bit.
Yeah, it sure looks that way. We know this guy has a encyclopedia of wrestling moves at his disposal, but because he started to be able to land those spears that he had so much trouble with, it seems like that's what he's leaning on.
Almost a 3 count there for the lackadaisical pin. But Noble landing that UFC style straight right to the face from a sport where closed fists are perfectly allowed, absolutely encouraged. Earl letting it go a little bit. You know, pro wrestling closed fists aren't normally kosher, but maybe he's letting a little bit go for Thomas, you know, letting him show his athleticism a little more.
Yeah, and he's sure having a good time doing it, but you know, he's got to get something going more so than the spear, because every time Big Daddy D gets going with an offensive series, he almost gets the 3 count. So Noble's got to finish it, and he's got to finish it quick here.
Scoop slam from Thomas Noble, setting him down, picking him up for what looks like to be another spear. He lands it, maybe his 5th one this match. Will it be enough this time?
And not enough, as Big Daddy D continually kicks out of this pin. How many spears is it going to take?
We have not seen the jackhammer yet from Thomas Noble, although we did see, big bomb there. But that might be his key to victory, his other finishing maneuver, if all these spears aren't going to do it.
I don't know how many spears he's got in his arsenal, but they are not doing the trick against Big Daddy D. That body fat percentage is definitely playing into this match.
Absolutely. Because, you know, it's hard to keep someone that dense down while up. I hate to say it like that, but, you know, you have to outweigh someone to pin them. If you're not going to beat the absolute hell out of them, knock them out, knock them loopy, you just have to weigh more. And I know that Thomas Noble weighs a lot, and I say that in a very nice way, because he's a very muscular, very, you know, fit man. But Big Daddy D weighs a ton. Just like more, you know, up there with STO. If you don't weigh as much as your opponent when you're trying to pin them, I'm sorry. Sometimes this is not going to work out. And I think Thomas needs to get that through his head.
Yeah, and honestly, getting started with, another move besides the spear, I think is going to help him get that jackhammer going. We've seen a lot of it. We've seen that success, and so he'll go back to that gut wrench, but he's just got to get a pin here. He's got to get something going.
Looking for that pump handle slam again, having some good success with that move. Into another spear. But Big Daddy able to get back on his feet with that suplex. Just throwing Thomas around like he's nothing, like made of feathers. I can't believe that Big Daddy still has this in a wallet.
Yeah, and honestly, it sounds like Noble must have heard us after that. It looks like we know what this is.
Jackhammer into the pin. Thomas Noble picking up the win with a strong jackhammer. Just like we said, he had to go to the well for one more move, one more finishing maneuver, and it was enough to put Big Daddy away for good.
Yeah, and honestly, Noble was, just kind of in control that entire match, from the get-go, just offense, blows, moves, throwing the gut wrenches at Big Daddy D, throwing the spears left and right at him and landing on almost every single one. That was one of the things, we mentioned earlier on. This guy had a lot of trouble landing those spears, but it looks like, joining his new faction, getting access to those training facilities has really helped him out. Maybe having someone to train with has helped him figure out the way to kind of connect on those spears. And obviously it's been paying off. Obviously didn't get the 3 count with it, but you have to think it played into it there. Finally getting that jackhammer for the pin. But Big Daddy D looking fantastic, lasting 17 minutes against, I think, our, easily top contender for Victor Hill's title belt after tonight. Hopefully still his. Chicago Cowboy is coming for it. Both of these guys have a lot of things they said at each other. Obviously a lot of heat going into this match. But before we get to that, we have probably, the most heat, the most, energy, the most, shit talking we've ever had leading up to a match as Malachi Hades and the Bad Man finally going at it in a barbed wire match against each other. Both of these guys obviously going to be going after each other's balls, going to go after each other's spirit in this match to see who can come out on top.
Yeah, this rematch has been so hotly anticipated, especially for a match that had a perfectly clean finish last week. But we are going to see these two guys duke it out. They have gone back and forth, Wallop, calling each other names like trash ass bitch again, stuff like that. These two guys just absolutely hate each other. And I'm not sure exactly when it started. I'm not sure if it started between all the ball stomps or between all the light tubes that were broken last week, maybe some of the barbed wire. But these two guys have been nonstop talking trash.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this match, if Earl makes some tag team just for the hell of it. These guys have just got some issue with each other that is just fundamental about how much they dislike each other. And you kind of hope that after this match, the barbed wire is going to kind of settle their issues for them. Let that do the talking for them. As we'll just see. Hell, we'll just see what happens in the ring with the two of these guys.
Definitely. And we will see if Malachi iced his balls. I know Badman is going to go back for that. I know he's going to go back for seconds on those balls and make sure they are stomped into absolute oblivion. And I really hope Malachi followed his advice. I hate to say it, but he is going to absolutely need that sort of testicular fortitude to make it through this match.
Yeah, and obviously this is a match where we're not going to see anybody going outside of the ring. We have this barbed wire protecting them from falling outside, but goodness gracious, is that looking terrifying, especially with all of the blood we already have in the ring tonight. We have seen it in matches that shouldn't have had it. We've had more blood in the non-hardcore matches tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out for them.
Absolutely. You have to think that mask on Badman's face is going to be a sort of protective measure here against the barbed wire. The rest of his body is fairly exposed and easily bruisable, breakable. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut myself off there. Going for the balls within 2 minutes of this match. Badman going back to the well that brought him absolutely no success last time. But god damn it, he wants to make a statement.
Yeah, honestly, knowing this barbed wire is right here all around you, maybe it'll give him, some ideas to just go after those balls, just keep attacking them as much as possible. And obviously, Badman does have that mask. Malachi, that is just face paint, so he clearly has an advantage when. It looks like we are back, folks. I'm trying to see if can the fans hear us back there. Can you guys hear us?
It seems like the fans cannot hear us right now, according to some feedback I am receiving from very angry fans who paid lots of money. Oh, it looks like they can hear us now. We don't have good video with which to talk about, so...
Yeah, obviously, folks watching at home, you're seeing a little bit, a little bit after us for the most part. Obviously, we're here live watching it happen, and we can talk about it. But, honestly, we moved up into the luxury boxes, so there's something going on down there, and we are actually unable to see ourselves. So this is a very interesting little dilemma for us as we kind of. We got a little TV in here for us that we can watch on, but obviously it's got a bit of a delay.
Yeah, I can see that Badman just hit the ropes and exploded from potentially the first time this match. Neither man bleeding, but if I do commentate, I'm going to be a couple seconds behind. So folks, feel free to have your own commentary at home. Just start talking about, dicks. Start talking about Badman, calling him a bitch. You'll get the gist of what we were trying to do with this match in the commentary here. I'm sure this match is great. Oh my god,
we're finally back. We are back, and Badman looks like he is kind of going at Malachi. Malachi dodges out of the way. Look at that agility on him.
Huge explosions here, going absolutely back and forth. My god, these two men hate each other, Wallop. You can just feel it from this match.
Yeah, there is something else about these two guys. I mean, we obviously missed a little bit of action. Badman has got some blood going on, and that is like the third ball hit we have seen since we've come back to the stream. Not too sure how many ball hits we missed. If the fans will let us know, we'd be glad to add it to the counter.
Twist of fate from Malachi. You got to really watch for these hammers laying everywhere, though, when you do moves like that to make sure you don't land on them.
Almost a 3 count there early on, less than 10 minutes, but that barbed wire, I can tell it's coming to play.
Absolutely. Badman bleeding everywhere. Another cover from Malachi, a little too close to the barbed wire. Earl calling that. And another ball shot. We've only seen 3 so far, but I'm sure the fans at home have seen about 10 or 20 at this point.
Yeah, since the beginning of the match, I think we've had about 7 or 8 so far. So Badman, no matter another one, no matter what happens here tonight, he is not going to forget. Malachi's not going to forget fighting Badman after this match.
It is so funny to think about this, Wallop. Badman... Oh my god,
Again.
another one.
Again.
Badman. So Badman joined Behold a Dark Horse last show. That was his first match under the Behold a Dark Horse banner. Before that, he had wrestled Black Snow and then Big Money Marty, if I'm remembering right. In neither of those matches did Badman behave like this, with all of these shots to the groin, all of this cheating. He was not wearing the mask, and obviously when he joined the faction, he started wearing their colors and redesigned his gear a little bit. But I don't know. Did STO teach him how to kick someone directly in the nads? Do you think that's what happened?
I would have to guess so, as Malachi will get the 3 count. A man can only take too many shots to the balls before he stays down.
The Badman slam ending Malachi. Folks, they are 1-1 now. There is no clear winner in this feud. I hate to say that. I hate to give them any more ideas, but they are tied up. I cannot believe this. I honestly thought Malachi may have had that in the bag, but I'm a little glad to be proven wrong.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not too sure Malachi's balls can make it through another match in this one, but I mean, the series is tied. I'm not too sure where we go from here. Both of these guys obviously could wrestle until the end of time. They could shit talk each other until the end of time. They could trash, ass, bitch each other until the end of time, but I'm not too sure where Earl wants to take this from here. Obviously, these guys are not going to like that sitting at 1-1.
No, they definitely will not. And you've also got to think, again, like we mentioned for Frank and Walnut, Tyler Blades has to have his eye on matches like this. You know, he wears that hardcore title around his shoulder, around his waist, not sure how he's carrying it, but he's wearing that title, he's presenting it proudly, but he has to defend it. He has to be a fighting champion here at Slaughterhouse. If I know Earl Dipshit, he's going to make sure of that. And he's going to have to defend it against one of these guys who is winning in hardcore matches. And folks, it might be one of these guys, it might be Frank, we don't know, but there's going to be some real changes here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. But speaking of hardcore matches, Wallop, we're going to see a first here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, a hardcore tag match. The Bankrollers, Big Money Marty, Ricky Big Bucks Biloxi, not finding too much luck as a tag team here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, but maybe trying to change their fortunes. They will be taking on the Exotic Husbands, the Dank Dong Connection, Dank Poopstain, Dong Michaels. Wallop, I am excited to see the original hardcore champion here in action tonight. I didn't want to sell the gimmick before. I didn't want to make it seem like it was a cool thing that he should be doing. But you know what? I respect him. He did win that first match. I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, honestly, it seems like it's going to be something that he does not let Slaughterhouse soon forget. Obviously, I'll be curious to see what he was creating back there in the locker room, as it seems like he has kind of made, some kind of design or decoration. I'm honestly not too sure what we're going to see when he comes on out. But I gotta say, he's definitely going to be coming in with a head full of steam, as him and Marty both look to make a statement, taking on Dank and Dong, who are very, very well established tag team here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Big Money Marty running his big money mouth yet again, trying to get a match like this booked so that he can prove maybe that he belongs in a new division, either the tag or the hardcore. But he's always trying to prop up his friends, quote unquote, a little bit here. And he might be trying to do that for Ricky Big Bucks Biloxi tonight. And folks, before we get into this match, I am already hearing that Badman and Malachi Hades are talking trash to each other, calling each other trash, and Malachi saying to shut to her shit up to Badman. So folks, we will see if that we see a tiebreaker match on that feud soon. But let's take our attention to this match. And I'm seeing something on Ricky's waist. We've been talking about it a little bit before. Wallop, you've been talking to Ricky. What do you make of that? What is that?
I don't think he actually bought that from Dollar Tree. I think he went out from behind Dollar Tree and got a cardboard. That is a cardboard belt that he has written with Sharpie that says OG Hardcore. Spelled right, so that's nice, but it definitely is a cardboard belt around his waist he is trying to show off out there. So it looks like even though he technically lost the rematch for the actual Hardcore Championship, that he's going to recognize himself as the OG Hardcore Champion here in Slaughterhouse.
And I don't blame him. Again, I really did not want to sell that gimmick if I didn't have to. But he did win that match. Earl Dipshit, we had to get him a book about refereeing and the rules of wrestling. But he was declared the winner, and the referee, especially when he is the commissioner, his rule is final. And Rick, God bless him, went into that rematch, tried his best to make up for it and win the championship in a legitimate way. It came up short. But in his mind, they are still 1-1. And he never defended that original Hardcore Championship in that match. So you know what? I supported Wallop. I supported it. You know me. I like the Bankrollers. I try to act like I'm too cool for them, but I do appreciate them. And right now, we are seeing some absolute hardcore action here as Dank Poopstain is getting his head run into the light tubes on the board. Oh my god.
Yeah, and it looks like, Ricky's going to kind of come out making a statement. Obviously, we are going to refer to him as the OG Hardcore Champion. That is what he wants to be known as. Just like Forged in Fire called himself a champion as part of his name, it looks like Ricky Big Bucks wants to be known. I'm getting a note. Big Money is, kind of sent us a note before the match, said he wants to be known as the OG Hardcore Champion. And he's kind of, making his way around the ring. He's very familiar with this hardcore matches. That's all he's been wrestling for the past month.
Yeah, I will say he definitely has the advantage coming to this match, not just because he is declaring himself the champion, but to the best of my knowledge, Dong, and you can correct me here if I'm wrong, Walla, but Dong and Dank really haven't been in any hardcore situations here in the Slaughterhouse. All of their matches have been in straight-up tags or straight-up wrestling matches, so this is a little bit of uncharted territory for them. And just speaking from experience, when you get out there with all these kendo sticks and these light tubes and all this barbed wire, even if you have, wrestled 30-minute matches at the Tokyo Dome in front of thousands of people, it's still kind of intimidating. It's still kind of scary, and you gotta think that psychology might be factoring in here.
Yeah, definitely so. He seems like nothing is really gonna... as he'll be introduced to the light tubes early here by Dong Michaels, but he's gonna kind of fight back, not even any blood showing. Looks like, he got the right idea after fighting Tyler Blades, deciding to kind of get rid of some of that outfit and kind of go for a more natural type of wrestling style, natural costume for him there.
Tying him up in the Boston Crab, the original hardcore champion, going for some very original wrestling moves here, but Dong returning with some punches to the face. Great success with those kind of awkward, unconventional, I'll say it like that, punches.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see a lot of defending from Ricky Big Bucks, as he does not want that brand new belt to be damaged. He is a very, very big fan of it. We can see him kind of straightening it up every time he gets back up off the mat. But it looks like it's about time for Marty to come on back in here, as Ricky Big Bucks will kind of try to lay a little more damage, but he'll get his partner back into this match.
Yeah, that might be the key to this match. It's a hardcore tag match, but you still have to act like it is a tag team match. And I think the Bankrollers are doing a great job of that so far.
Yeah, but honestly, we've talked about it a lot. Dong definitely kind of the stronger wrestler here. And Dank kind of had a rough go of it over the past few months, kind of not doing too well in singles action, kind of being the one who's cost the matches in tag, but it seems like they've set that aside tonight to kind of give the Bankrollers what they want, a hardcore match where they can kind of show off their new OG hardcore champion, and Marty can just beat the hell out of somebody.
Absolutely, but now we're seeing Dank Poopstain as the legal man, working on that leg of Big Money Marty. Looks like Dong was trying to distract Earl Dipshit for a second, not sure to what end. But we just saw the 401k, the brass knuckles, Big Money Marty's finishing move. All legal here in this hardcore match. But it looks like Big Money Marty is going to continue working the head, going into the running bulldog.
Yeah, it looks like both of these guys are just attacking different parts. Different parts of the body, going after the back, going after the head, but they've got the right idea to take down people in these hardcore matches. Obviously these weapons just kind of hanging out for free usage. We've only seen one corner of these light tubes used, so they are all just kind of wide open and available.
Big Money Marty with a big backdrop there, looking a little winded as he goes for the knee drop. Needs to cover, good call there, but Dong, that tag team acumen that they've had from tagging for so long, he is in there to break up the pin.
And Big Buck's just kind of watching from the sideline on this one, maybe trying to see if his partner, I'm hoping there's no jealousy, thinking maybe this guy could be a threat to my OG Hardcore Championship eventually, but kind of letting Marty play things out in the ring, which is, the Bankrollers, we've seen some weird team dynamics from them, as Ricky will watch the pin get broken up by Dong again over there.
Yeah, now Big Money Marty in the ring alone, trying to fight off Dong and Dank at the same time. Doing a pretty good job of it, tucking the head in the tights, going for the pile driver on Dank Poopstain.
and then getting him in that headlock. And finally, Big Bucks will kind of come out of retirement over there and kind of see what's going on.
Big Bucks running into the light tubes and just walking off. Unfazed. Your original hardcore champion, folks. That is tenacity.
Yeah, there's a lot you can say about them. A guy that gets winded after doing his own move can take a light tube to the back of Dang Poopstain as Marty trying to go for that corner, but really no corner to do some moves off of as they'll try to trade blows with each other, and both of the guys miss for a second.
Marty going for the throat chop again. I've seen a couple of those this match. Running the ropes, just trying to get, I don't know, some momentum going, literally. I can't really tell at this point.
Yeah, it sure does look like it, as he'll consider tagging in Ricky, but decide he wants to kind of stay in the action and kind of go after Dank Poopstain himself. We've seen a lot of this. Marty seems to be one of those guys. He just really enjoys his time in the ring. And obviously what we've seen so far is Ricky Big Bucks enjoys his time outside of the ring tonight.
Absolutely. I don't even think it's that Marty really loves wrestling or anything. He's the kind of guy that loves hearing himself talk. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen so many promos from him where it's just like, Jesus Christ, dude, cut it off already. We get it. You want to start a match, whatever. It's just like that in the ring. He just loves being in the spotlight. He loves hogging the ball, even if it's to the detriment of his own team. But it looks like finally he will tag out to Big Bucks Biloxi, a little fresher than Marty in this match. Double teaming Dank Poopstain here.
And in the trunks again for that move. We talk about Dank doing some dirty stuff, but that's pretty dirty right there if we have to, if we want to be honest with each other.
Man, that's gross. I don't know why Marty... I mean, it's gross enough that he does that to, like, a normal person, but it's gross for him to put Dank Poopstain in his pants. You know what I mean? I don't know if I agree with that decision.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting one, as Ricky will just kind of continue to go after the body here and go after that back leg with that drop kick. Getting continually winded. Oh!
A testicular claw. Earl in to count it, Dong up to break it up, and he flexes. He is so happy to break that up for his brother. I cannot believe it.
Yeah. Oh, the barbed wire.
Marty moving in to lay some more hurt on Dank Poopstain outside the ring. It looks like Dank is bleeding now. Both men exploding. Ricky has the claw on in the ring. Oh my God.
Just complete and utter chaos right now, Ron. I'm not too sure. Big Buck's obviously the legal man, trying to go for a corner move, not going to work. As Dank will hit the barbed wire again as him and Marty, obviously Dank being the legal man right now. Not too sure how this one's going to play out for either side, but just complete and utter chaos right now in this match.
Dank Poopstain and Big Money Marty both bleeding at this point. Dank going down from a punch and exploding. Jesus Christ. Dong has to help his man.
Just countless explosions.
Barbed wire. Oh, my broadcast partner has taken off his headset and put it beside him. He is laughing so hard. I'm crying, folks. I don't understand.
Folks, this match is descended into anarchy here tonight as the legal man finally makes his way back into the ring after hitting countless landmines. And I'm just not too sure what happens from here. I mean, the guy is bleeding all over. There's not a bit of blood not on his body, as Big Bucks will just kind of continue to lay the beat down on him, and it dazes himself after an elbow drop. Folks, he was in the ring and didn't hit the barbed wire once, but is still the most dazed man in this match. Just complete and utter chaos here tonight.
Tears wallop. There are tears flowing down my face. I probably should have taken off my headset too. But, oh my God, as much fun as you guys have watching Slaughterhouse Wrestling, please know that we have even more fun doing this. And, oh my God, the testicular claw again. Dong in to break it up. Dong bleeding as well. I just now noticed Ricky is the only man in this match not bleeding. The original hardcore champion is not bleeding, folks.
Yeah, from what I've been told, he really does not want to endanger that cardboard belt, as Marty will just kind of remind his tag team partner, hey, this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. I'm covered in blood. Everyone else has a roll-up pin on Dank Poop Stain, but Dong will get there in time to break it up as Marty will kind of just get back to his corner.
Yeah, getting double teamed by both members of the Exotic Husbands here. Oh, step up Enziguri there from Ricky Big Bucks Biloxi, knocking Dank down, and Dank is just bleeding. I saw that blood stain increase in size. Oh my god.
Yeah, Janet's going to have her work cut out for her after this match. If this match does not end in a knockout for somebody, I'm not too sure, what's been going on this entire match.
Now, Dank trying to bring him into the husband's corner, probably going to make a tag here when he feels comfortable to do so. But Ricky with a deep six, not going to let him make the tag. Will cover in the corner, though. Maybe not the smartest ring awareness call.
Yeah, we've seen that issue before with the bankrollers, and a nut shot to Dank Poopsin real quick by Big Buck.
Folks, this is why Ricky calls himself the original hardcore champion. I have not seen a hardcore match this wild in a long, long time.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. He seems like one of those guys who's, he makes a lot of claims, but we haven't seen too much of it, to be honest with you. I mean, he's been in this match, but he has not been the guy doing the participating. As he'll get a little blood himself after that headbutt from Dank Poopstain. I can't tell if that's Dank's blood or his. I could probably tell if I could smell it a little bit closer. Obviously, Dank has a distinct aroma that we have become accustomed to.
Yeah, I just stopped mentioning it at this point. He stinks. We all know it. I don't want to give him any more airtime than he deserves.
Yeah, I just don't see what Dank has left in him at this point. He's got to get Dong in there if they want any chance of finishing this match with the W. But at the same time, Big Bucks has got to finish this out. Go for the submission. Go for the testicular claw. You know you love it. Go for a pin in your corner, somewhere where you can get this W.
And folks, we are almost in minute 30 of this match, our longest hardcore match ever, as Ricky is up and dazed.
And he'll lay the hit combo again on Dank Poopstain, knock him down real quick.
Pick him back up into the jumping Enziguri again. Oh no, the kick right to the head. Earl coming in with the slow count, letting Dong get in there and showboat a little bit. Folks, this match is broken down yet again.
And Dank Poopstain throwing that finger out at everybody, kind of trying to remind him what for, as Ricky Big Bucks has the opportunity for a pin or a submission or something with his tag partner Marty in the ring, but it looks like he's just going to kind of take his time again, catch his breath, win himself out with his own moves. Just complete the testicular claw.
Claw. Calling the match. The Bankrollers have won the first ever.
It looks like Earl didn't call it, but this pin, a kick out in two by Dank Poopstain after the abuse he has taken from Big Bucks Biloxi and the barbed wire outside of the ring, courtesy of Marty, a Big Money Marty. I'm not too sure, how this one is.
Oh my God!
These guys.
Dank ran into the light tubes of his own volition, damaging his already damaged forehead. And yes, I'm sorry we called that. I thought Earl Dipshit called it in favor of the Bankrollers, but he says the match must continue. I'm worried about the testicular health of Dank at this point, but he is up. He is DDTing Ricky on top of that kendo stick. God, I don't even know what to make of this match, Walla. This is insane.
Yeah, this is just a complete and utter bloodbath at this point. If Earl Dipshit cares about his wrestlers and their future here in Slaughterhouse, he would have called this match a long time ago. As these guys can barely breathe, there is blood all over, as it has turned into just an utter smackdown.
Sidewalk slam from Rick, both men down. One of them needs to make the tag here.
Looks like Ricky was going for that corner, as he'll introduce Dank to the light tubes again. Maybe go for a pin, submission, something here. You are right there. Marty's covered in blood in your corner. Get something going here, Bankrollers.
Dank back out and exploding. Marty punching the ring post. Oh my God.
Dank clapping for the fans as they are enjoying that. One bald guy is enjoying it. A DDT to Marty. from Marty to Dank, and just the guys in the ring going at it once again. Explosions left and right. I mean, Dong and Ricky Big Bucks going at it in the ring, trading blows back and forth as Marty will throw Dank back into the ring.
One of these men needs to make a tag, and I'm not sure a tag to Marty's even the smart call here after taking all of that punishment on the barbed wire and the landmines.
Folks, we talk a lot about Dank and Dong's matches over the course of their Slaughterhouse career, but this could easily be one of the most insane matches we have ever seen here in Slaughterhouse. Just complete and utter chaos from the ground up.
Eye rake from Rick, missing the dropkick, and Dank 35 minutes into this bloody hardcore match, finding the time to taunt the original hardcore champion. Dong just telling the crowd to suck it. Fucking why? Why? Just tag.
Just these guys just have nothing to lose, and I'm not too sure what anybody has to gain by this match continuing. I'm not too sure what the end goal for anybody in this match is at this moment. Getting close to 36 minutes here as the drop kick to Dank, and Ricky will take a breather, and just still neither of these men willing to tag.
Or pin. There we go. Ricky with the pin too close to Dong, not even a 1 count. Jesus Christ, the ring awareness of the bankrollers at 0.
As Marty will just kind of make his way back to his corner as Dank will continue to put the offensive beat down on Ricky Big Bucks Biloxi. These guys just going back and forth. It has time to taunt, no time to pin. Dom will take a second to flex for the crowd, give them what they paid for, is the flying butt from Dank, and a quick second to taunt once again.
You have to think, we're 37 minutes in. I don't even think we brought this up. If Dank pins Ricky, does he challenge for the original hardcore title?
I think at this point he'd have to. I think Ricky Big Bucks, if he gets pinned, he has to be willing to let him challenge for it. I know he is protective of that belt. He spent a lot of time making that belt. As he tries to go up for the corner, once again, both of these guys forgetting that the corner is not an option to go up top. As maybe he'll go for a pin here. Nope, he'll help him back up.
Looks like Dank is moving to tag out to Dong Michaels. The smartest call any of these men will have made all match, but Ricky is not going to allow it.
I guess he just wants to show something to everyone here in Slaughterhouse, to show this OG hardcore title means something. If Dank will get a DDT on him in his corner. The biggest thing about this is Dank considering taunts, considering taunting. I'm guessing, if I had to guess, another clothesline from him, as he'll drag him over the bloody mat.
And folks, this is now definitely the longest match in Slaughterhouse history. This hardcore tag match where every man is refusing to win is the longest match we have ever seen in this company. I can barely believe it.
I'm not too sure how this match finishes out at this point. And a pin from Ricky Big Bucks on Dank. And it's not even a 2.9. Not even a 3 count. Earl is not letting this one end easy, as Ricky is doing everything he can to take down Dank Poopstain, but it is just not enough, as he cannot even get the 3 count, as he has found a second win at 41 minutes into this match.
Marty in now. I don't know if he was tagged or if he has just jumped in to help Ricky out, but Dank Poopstain just hit his finishing maneuver, the final cut on Big Money Marty. Now Dank taking his time with Marty. Oh my god, this is broken down again, 42 minutes in.
Yeah, you gotta think, if either of these guys can get a pin maybe right here, this might be the match. As he's in his own corner, if he can get a pin here, or a submission. We haven't seen a submission from any of these guys in a while. Maybe if he goes after those testicles that he's such a fan of going after against Dank. I don't know what he could do otherwise.
Clothesline from Ricky to the elbow drop. He needs to do something to end this match immediately.
If Dank will reverse it on him.
Both of these men looking fresh. Neither of them have tagged out in a good 20, 30 minutes at this point, and both of them looking like they just stepped in the ring for the first time, aside from all the blood. This is insane.
Yeah, this is unlike anything we've ever seen here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. This match will not soon be forgotten in a pay-per-view that has some impressive. As Dank will hit the barbed wire explosions again, Marty trips over the rope trying to get into the ring to help his partner out with Dong in there. And
all of that blood. All that blood in Marty's eyes really getting to him. A roll up, but Dank is not the legal man. Excuse me, Dong is not the legal man. Dank and Ricky still are. They're going to be the legal men till the fucking sun burns out.
It really seems like it at this point, Ron. I'm not too sure how it's going to finish out. Dank obviously refusing to pin his opponent. And Ricky, one testicular claw away from probably getting the win here tonight.
Backdrop suplex from Ricky on to Dank Poopstain. Folks, we are approaching minute 45 of this absolute bloodbath. Never in my life have I seen anything like this.
Dank showing off his body to the crowd at 45 minutes, something I didn't really expect out of this match. Obviously, the taunting from Dank and Dong has been just something just unprecedented, as once again, neither man even considers going to tag his teammate into this match.
Folks, I would like to remind you, we still have a match after this, too. We've been building up this main event all night. We've heard from Chicago Cowboy and Victor Hill, and I hope they will get a chance to perform tonight. I sincerely hope this match ends with time remaining on this planet Earth for them to wrestle. As Dank runs into the boards, falls over, and Rick decides not to capitalize.
In his own corner with his teammate right there, he refuses to go for his testicular claw, refuses to go for a pin. This man is out to prove this OG Hardcore Championship means something in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. And good God, at 46 minutes, 26 minutes of it all his own, with Marty helping outside the ring, he has really proven that this title is worth something, as Marty will show off his muscles to the crowd.
Pinfall, Marty in to break it up.
And this is a good opportunity right here for them to get something going with there a lot of confusion going on in the ring. As Dank will bring him over to his teammate, just lay him next to him as he'll go up for the top rope, but it's not there. Once again, these light tubes are there.
Going for the rear naked choke. Earl Dipshit calling this. Dank wins by submission. Folks, I am speechless. Absolutely speechless at the result of this hardcore tag match. Wallop, do you have anything to say?
Honestly, I'm with you there. I mean, just complete, in utter speechlessness. I mean, Dank and Ricky decided to put this whole match on their backs and just do whatever they could. Dank showing as much resiliency, and more resiliency than I've ever seen from a wrestler here in Slaughterhouse, taking how many barbed wire explosions outside of the ring and still managing to kick out of 2 pins after 30 plus minutes and beating the original hardcore champion in his first match with his new belt. I do think Dank has a chance to try for the belt.
Of course, I definitely agree with you, Wallop. And we said this last show, we didn't bring it up this much, but Dank Poopstain has not been part of a winning team or a winning singles match since Slaughterhouse 2, I believe. 7 shows later, in the ring, covered in blood, explosions all over his body, writhing in barbed wire, he is able to get a submission choke on the original hardcore champion. He has made the ultimate comeback here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. And, I'm happy to see it. Dank Poopstain has been with us here for so long, and, I love a good success story. Congratulations to the Exotic Husbands. Watch your back, Ricky. I absolutely loved that match. But, folks, our time at Slaughterhouse 9, Nonstop Nut November, Go Ice Your Balls, is slowly coming to a close. We have one final main event match left. The Chicago Cowboy, the winner of Slaughterhouse's single cage match over Damon Sky, taking his leave of absence after being embarrassed by Walnut in 6 minutes. Coming back on a tear, beating Dong Michaels, earning his title shot here, will be taking on Victor Hill of Supreme, our Slaughterhouse Wrestling champion. Cowboy is not ranked number 1. But Victor Hill, in his congratulatory speech after winning the heavyweight title, said that he owed the Chicago Cowboy one. He said that you beat me all the way back when, the beginning of the summer, everything was different, but you beat me in the first ever tournament. So I owe you one, and you can cash that in whenever you want to. The Cowboy said, you know what, I'm picking the next show. Going into Slaughterhouse 10, I want to be the champion. I want to be the guy to beat on our 10th show. And Victor Hill accepted it. Cowboy not ranked number 1. Cowboy not the most winningest member of Slaughterhouse. But Cowboy has something that nobody else has. That singles victory over Victor Hill. Losing to Walnut. Folks, thank you for sticking with us at Slaughterhouse 9, Nonstop, not November. Go ice your balls. We're going to kick it onto the ring, and we are going to see who walks out of the show as our champion.
Yeah, honestly, this is... We just saw some crazy stuff here in this ring, but this match is going to top that. I just have a feeling about these two guys and what they're going to bring, and it looks like there might be a little confusion trying to get the ring straightened up after the match. Good bit of blood out of there. Janet's working her damnedest.
There we go. Yeah, Janet is... I saw her as she was coming out. She had the most worried look on her face that I've ever seen, and Janet has seen some absolute shit. Janet has been around for some of the bloodiest matches we've ever seen, and I think that one just took the cake. It might have broken her. We'll catch up with her after the show if we get a chance.
But she's going to have a work cut out for her. I feel like we've seen a lot of blood tonight. Obviously, nothing touches that last match. But this one, I would not be surprised if we get, a little bit of blood in this ring added to it.
And folks, we've been hearing from both of these guys all night. They are ready to take each other on. This match has been building since Slaughterhouse's start. It looks like we got the ring a little cleaned up, shockingly. Somebody in the back has been working overtime with that mop and broom. Thank God for that. But we're going to see Cowboy right out of the gate with a strong start on our champion. Cowboy picking his finest jeans for the occasion. Really happy about that. Vint wearing the standard Supreme colors, representing his faction as the most dominant force here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling.
Yeah, and honestly, we really, it was kind of one of these things we didn't really notice how good Victor Hill was until it happened, until he finally took down Walnut. And then I think we kind of looked at these last few pay-per-views and realized this guy has been one of the winningest, wrestlers here in Slaughterhouse. He has been one of the most dominant. And when he finally got his chance against Walnut, he showed it. But obviously the Cowboy is someone we don't have as much of a sample size of, has not wrestled as much, but he definitely has the talent to, really take a shot at the title here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Chicago Cowboy was very dominant in that first tournament, making it all the way to the finals, losing to Walnut, only having a handful of matches since then. So we haven't even really seen all of his arsenal. There may be Chicago Cowboy maneuvers we've just never seen before. But we do know he loves that, showing off his strength in those Gorilla Press Slam style maneuvers and the kick to the small of the back. Chicago Cowboy is a power wrestler.
Yeah, and a power wrestler of power wrestlers. We've seen Jack Punk, we've seen Big Daddy D tonight, but Chicago Cowboy is a different type of strong. I mean, this guy is just pound for pound. I mean, maybe even stronger than Big Daddy D. I mean, it's just one of those things. But Victor Hill, just all around, probably the best wrestler we have in Slaughterhouse. I think, just as far as technical, as far as what he can do in the ring, outside of the ring, he's just, just the full package.
Hands down, he may be the best, but he is feeling the effects of those strong blows from the Chicago Cowboy. But Vint now has him in a Scorpion Deathlock style maneuver, telling him to bring it without even facing him, just clenching those fists. Cowboy is hurting here.
Yeah, he sure loves laying the hurt down his opponents, and Cowboy will pick this man up like he is nothing once again. Cowboy with a strong right to the face, lifting Vint up for the stalling suplex.
showing off that power. You know, obviously those are great maneuvers. They hurt a lot. They get a lot of blood to the opponent's head. But you're also making a statement there, Wallop. You're also telling him, hey, you might be strong, you might be a super heavyweight, but I am just as strong as you are.
And a spear to Victor Hill, and he'll go for the pin early on in this match. As Earl will take his time with that count, a little bit slower than I think we're used to, but still a 2 count this early on after that fantastic spear, and a night where we've seen a number of them by Thomas Noble.
Absolutely. He was really tuning up the band on that one there, and I think it really paid off. But Vince with the strong powerbomb and the pin, I think that might just be the match we're going to see here, Wallop. We're going to see these two guys throw absolute bombs at each other and try to pin as quickly as possible. Because both of these guys... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go right ahead.
I was going to say, both of these guys, Cowboy especially, have a bit of a cardio problem sometimes, where they throw these bombs, but they don't have that long game always. They're able to get it done, but they got to get it done quickly. And both of them know they're going into that kind of game.
Yeah, and the longer he holds Victor Hill up here, that blood just rushing to his brain, he's going to have a nice little advantage over him. But Victor Hill, just these reversals is something we don't talk about with him that much, but he just is so good at turning the tide in any match that he is in. So no matter how good it looks for the Cowboy, Victor Hill can turn it around quick. So go for the pin again, only a 2 count.
Only a 2 count, Wallop. We might be seeing the long game from these guys tonight, or at least the relatively long game for the both of them. Ducking the clothesline there, Victor showing some agility we're not quite used to and returning with one of his own, but look at him, he is tired. They are both already so tired from having to lift the other guy. It's insane.
Yeah, and there, Victor Hill go for that pin again. You had to see it come in a 2 count right now. 3 early on in the match, taking out the Cowboy. Retaining the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship, his first title defense, and a dominant win here.
I am shocked. Only 9 minutes in, with the King of Burning Hearts, Victor Hill secures the victory and cements his legacy here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. The Chicago Cowboy was his last challenge, the one thing he felt like he couldn't get, and now he's done it. Where does this go, Wallop? Where do you think this leads to next? What could possibly happen here at Slaughterhouse?
Well, honestly, Victor Hill is setting himself up to be another type of Walnut. Just this strong, you know, honestly, for Victor Hill, I think one of the few words that would accurately describe him in Walnut is anomaly. A man of his size, his speed, his skill, his strength is just unheralded. You know, you don't see this very often, and that's why he's able to take someone like Walnut down. And it seems like as long as we have guys like him and Walnut in the league, these title matches are going to be short matches. They just lay the hurt on their opponents. And Cowboy was given as good as he was getting in that match. Honestly, the pins were played out just right. If he had just been able to avoid a few of those moves by Victor Hill, that match would have gone out a little longer, and I think he could have had a chance at that title.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you there. But you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. That is the fortunes that they have been dealt, the card of hands they were dealt. They had to play with what they were given. And that is the way this goes. But look, folks, next show, I've been hearing rumblings that there might be some sort of a battle royale to determine the next number 1 contender. The field is wide open for anyone in Slaughterhouse to win that match, win number 1 contendership, and challenge for the title. And after this show, you know, we've seen moves in the hardcore division. We've seen a strong statement in the tag division, Dank Dong reuniting and able to pull out one of the most insane victories that I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know much right now. Don't know much about the future of Slaughterhouse Wrestling, but I do know that it is going to be a wild ride. So, folks, we thank you for... sorry, Walt, did you have something to add to that?
Nope, I was just going to agree with everything you said there.
Awesome. Well, folks, thank you for letting us into your homes for a little bit. We love doing Slaughterhouse Wrestling. We hope you had as much fun as we did, because clearly we had a lot of fun tonight. And we will see you at Slaughterhouse 10.